What's up, folks? Decided to come on early. I'm not doing anything. I'm just sitting around. Of course, probably could have used that extra 5 minutes to do something. What's new? How's everybody feeling? Good? Good? What's up, O? Huh. Yep. Oh, my goodness. See, maybe I did need that extra 5 minutes. Damn, I guess it did. Y'all hang tight. I'm good. All right, give me a couple minutes. I'm going to let y'all listen to music. I forgot something.
Hey, my name is Jason. I'm from Toronto, and I just want to ask Prince what is his version of real music? Do you have a concert ticket?
Oh, my goodness. Great. All right, give me a second. I'll be right back. Y'all just keep on chilling with each other. I'll be right back.
Just come to the concert.
Bye. All right. Oh no, Elaine, you're on hurricane watch. How's everybody doing? I'm sorry. I'm just like totally not in the. Oh my gosh. I hope everybody's doing well. Yeah, this all is going to be muted, obviously, because when we do the video like this, it's always it's just going to end up being muted, and it's just going to be a nightmare. So I've learned to accept it as it is. My drink for the night. I'm glad you guys joined us. This night is brought to you by Crystal Light Grape. For those who want the purple drink without all the whatever. Purple drink without the regret. I guess that's the word I was looking for. If you drink this purple drink, there's no walk of shame the next morning. See what I'm talking about? It's a good thing. Yep. So welcome one and all. Tonight we're going to have a little bit of fun. It's officially 7:30, so technically I'm not late, even though I stepped away. I started 5 minutes early, but then I stepped away. Oh my gosh. All right, man, I am so sorry for you guys that are over there in the on the Gulf in New Orleans and Panama City Beach, and really obviously concerned about New Orleans because I don't want you guys to have to deal with any of that ridiculousness. And it's just, it's such, ugh. Adam, what's going on, brother? How are you doing? Let me go back up here and see everybody that's in here. O's here. Honey's here. Audrey's here. What's going on, Audrey? Donna's here. Cammy's here. Of course. Ronlin, how you doing? Jackie. Carrie's here. Mary's here. Elaine's here. Eileen's here. Man, so good. You know, yeah, speaking of which, we were talking about, I feel like I'm yelling over the music, which I probably am. Speaking of which, we were talking about the Music Cares challenge, and I said if it got over 3,500, that I would add another 3 prize levels. Right now, there's a grand prize, a second prize, and a third prize, and that's all there is. And a lot of people were like, well, add more prizes. There's a lot of prizes in there. But we're obviously $210 away from 3,500, so might I make it? September 1st is when we're going to end this. September 1st is when it's going to be done. So, well, done for it. The contest itself actually goes until, not the contest, but the drive is actually going to be going all the way until October 23rd. But we're stopping this on September 1st as far as the prize giveaway. And then on September 1st, we're going to be doing another prize package that's going to be a little bit different. Mostly a little bit more involved with Bootsy, and there's some really, really cool things that are coming. His brand new album is going to be coming out on October 23rd, and there's a lot of cool stuff. So this prize package scenario ends next Tuesday. So next Tuesday night on Funkatopia Live, we will be doing the drawing to find out who is the winner of that massive prize package. And it's a massive prize package. It's just, oh my gosh. Terry says, thanks, Jaden, for my slime. Yeah, you know what? All the orders for slime are out. So if you ordered slime, you should already have it. Lotus, what's going on? Lisa, hello. Donna, I think I already said hello. So I wanted to kind of mix things up. Now this particular thing of slime is mine and mine alone. This was actually the first batch that was ever made. And it's kind of like the, I don't know how to say it. It's kind of like the, Elaine, great, you got your slime. It's kind of like the experimental slime. Let's put it that way. So it's a whole entire canister of this stuff. It's like this whole entire canister. And this one has got a little bit of it. Tanya, how you doing? Todd, what's shaking, brother? So this actually is quite a little bit of a workout. I mean, when you actually, stretch it and pull with this particular one, this one's obviously a lot more. It's a lot. There's quite a bit here, and you can actually get a good bit of tension on this one. This one's got all kinds of stuff in it because every time I try something or I want to add something to it to kind of see how it will react, the girls want. This is kind of like, there's a Frankenstein slime here. Just added, got some direct hemp seed oil, like 12 grams of omegas 3s and 6s. And it's like hardcore hemp seed oil that is being added to the slime now. So it's We're even taking it to the next level, and they have, no joke, they have like 4 or 5. Hold on a second. I got a message. I got to answer here. Hold on. So yeah, anyways, it's awesome, and it keeps on getting upgraded all the time. And sorry, I'm what I was doing there was actually texting, because we may actually have tonight, as you know, today on August 25th, 1982, August 25th, 1982, is the official anniversary. Today is the 38th anniversary for the Times What Time Is It album, the second album from What Time Is It? And of course, I kind of been going around doing my little thing. And Jackie says, have one that is sticky. We'll try the salt. That's not salt, Jackie. That's there's no salt, Terry. It's not salt. There's a little paper insert that is there that kind of tells you what that is. That's not salt. That is borax. You don't need to, don't add that directly to the slime. You need to take like a teaspoon of it, or even a half a teaspoon of it. You mix it with water, like a half a cup of water or something. You mix like about a quarter of a teaspoon of that borax with like about, I don't know, a cup of water. And the directions are in there inside that little organza bag that came with it, that little colorful organza bag. The directions are in there. You mix it with water, and then you just add like a little bit of that solution into the slime at a time. Just like, maybe like like a half a teaspoon at a time, and then you work it into the slime, and then it will start to slowly become not sticky. Well, that's one of the things that we were seeing, and one of the reasons why we had to start sending borax is because of the heat. What ends up happening is that the heat is what ends up happening with the heat is that it makes it sometimes sticky, and it starts to stick to your hands, which is no fun at all. So we started sending out these little packets of borax that you can mix in with about a cup of water. You like mix like a half a teaspoon of that with like a cup of water, and then you just add like just a little bit at a time to this, and then it starts making it not. But that's not salt. It's not salt. Yes, Jackie, that's to clean it. The borax is to clean it. No, so yeah, it's pretty awesome. And now, of course, we're adding some more of this hardcore stuff to it, like this really hardcore hemp seed oil and stuff. And they've caught up on all the orders. They don't have any orders in the system, so I think they were kind of happy they got caught up. But it was, and they've got like 6 different ones now they're going to be posting, but they've got to come up with names for them, and there's some craziness. There's definitely some craziness. You guys still want to order some, you can. It's TwoGeorgiaGirls.com, TWO GeorgiaGirls.com. You can order some, and it'll be fun. But anyways, it's gonna be a lot of fun, and certainly if you got it, you know how fun it is and how relaxing it is. I'll be working during the day and just playing with the slime. It's very, very fun. Yes, very, very cool. Yeah, sometimes if you get kids just making a mess of slime, that's one thing, but this is slime with a purpose. It's therapeutic, and it's got like all these elements in it. Like if you need to relax, it's got lavender in it. If you need to wake up, they've got this really like hardcore lemon scent. It's also got hemp seed oil in it. It's also got argan oil in it. So it's like, it's good for your skin, and it's just like aromatherapy. And so it's really good for therapy. And so that's kind of what they made it. They didn't just make it just to make it and to be silly. And, I mean, that's just not what they're doing. They're doing a therapeutic slime, and it's actually been phenomenal. And people have been going nuts about it. So it's been pretty awesome. So yeah. So if it gets too hot and it gets too sticky, then that's what you got to do. Tonight, as I mentioned, we have the 38th anniversary of the Times' second album, What Time Is It? I hope you guys will stay tuned. We're going to be doing that at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I know that any minute now we should be, probably in about 5 minutes or so, we're going to be expecting Bootsy Collins' wife, Patty, will be obviously joining us, because we've got 1 week before the Bootsy Collins Challenge, the Music Cares Challenge. We've got 1 week that we're going to be doing this. And essentially what it is we've got like this massive prize package. As I told you before, we got 3 different prize packages. And let me stop changing subjects real quick. Tonight, The Time, the second album from The Time. What time is it? Celebrates its 38th anniversary tonight. We're going to be going over the entire album, talking about the history, the background, a lot of the things that were going on. Hopefully we're going to have some surprises for you. I'm sure there's going to be some things that you did not know about this album, and there could very well be some more surprises in the mix as well. I can't really divulge what that's going to be, but you're going to want to hang out. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I hope that you'll stay around, because we're just going to be having a good time. And that will start at about 8 o'clock. Well, about 8:10 is basically where it's going to be, because in about 5 minutes or so, now I'll switch gears over to the Music Cares thing. For those that don't know about the Music Cares program, the Music Cares program is a program where we are helping artists and musicians who can't afford to pay their bills. There are a lot of musicians and bands that are out there, and performers, that during this pandemic, there's been no shows, there's been no concerts. So they are struggling to put food on their tables and support their families. And there's a lot of people out there that's exactly what they were doing this for, was to be able to support their families. And they've been having a very, very difficult time of it. And so it's been a rough journey, nonetheless, very, very, very rough journey. And so we decided to do is that with Bootsy Collins, we're working with Bootsy Collins and his wife, Patty, and we are helping to support them. And it's through Music Cares, and we've got the address. I think Cammie will be able to put up the address here just a little bit. If you don't have access to it, let me see if I've got it on a banner. I believe that I do. I'm pretty sure I do. I don't, but I'm going to fix that right now. I'm going to fix that and put the URL in here for the contest. For those folks that do not have the luxury of seeing some of this activity on chat, I am going to put this URL in here for you guys so that you can actually do it. And Bootsy's been very, very excited about. I put that sticker on. There we go. So that is the address on the bottom of the screen. If you donate, for every $5 that you donate to Music Cares, this has nothing to do with us. We don't get any of this. Neither does Bootsy. This all goes directly to the musicians and artists to kind of help them and keep their head above water. And we decided that for every $5, we are going to allow you to get an entry into our prize pack giveaway. And what the prize pack giveaway is, we have an amazing grand prize package that is literally exhausting to read through it. Is so many things that come with it. And if you're a Prince fan, it's just so many things. And I'll read it. I'll absolutely read it, but it's just a lot. It's a lot of stuff. So there is another 2 prize packages for second and third place that are also really cool prize packages. If it wasn't overshadowed by the massive grand prize package, they would probably be very notable as well. And the people were saying, man, you need to add more prizes. You need to add more levels, like a 4th place, a 5th place, a 6th place. And I said, if we got to $3,500, that what we would do is I would add 3 more prize packages. So we're going to be doing that if we reach $3,500. But keep in mind, this prize package drawing ends next week, next Tuesday on Funkatopia Live. Next Tuesday, we will be doing the drawing, and we will be picking the winner at that time. If we have reached $3,500 at that time, we'll add 3 more prize packages as well. There'll be smaller prize packages, but at least you guys could say that you won something if you happen to be one of those. The grand prize package right now is completely ridiculous. It is insane. I will ramble through what the prize package is for the grand prize. The grand prize is a pair of Bootsy Collins star glasses from Shine, a deck of Bootsy Collins playing cards, a personally autographed card from Bootsy Collins, a personally signed rare vinyl from Bootsy Collins, a Earth, Wind, and Fire CD box set, The Eternal Flame, 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 art prints from Mary A. Johnson, who does this phenomenal work. Do I have her stuff here? You guys have seen me showcase it before. 3 of her beautiful art prints. Brand new book from a hardcover book, Life and Times. Another brand new book, a paperback, Inside the Music and Mask. Prince and the Purple Rain Era Studio Sessions book from Dwayne Tudall. And I just got notification, just got off the phone with Dwayne earlier tonight. That book from Dwayne Tudall will be sent directly to you. And on top of that, it will be signed. So you are actually going to have a signed copy of, I decided I'm going to move the image over here. So I'm at least kind of looking into the screen a little bit. So you are actually going to have a signed copy of the book, Purple Rain Era Studio Sessions, directly from Dwayne Tudall. So you will absolutely, that's just another fantastic thing. Also, we're not done with this grand prize package. 2 Prince collector magazines. So these magazines that are very, very cool that celebrated his life. There's been a bunch of variety of different magazines that have done that. We're going to pick 2 of them. We're going to send them to you. Plus a Morris Day tour program from the 80s from his original tour. Plus on top of that, a Purple Prince handmade studded book bag. Plus a 12-inch Let's Go Crazy vinyl from my personal collection that is all beat to hell. And it was an original one. It was bought in the 80s, like 1984, 1985, and it was beat to hell and back. There's no way you could sell it. It's from my personal collection, so it's actually a personal thing. You're getting something from my collection that's worth absolutely nothing, but it means a lot to me, so it's kind of like, here. But I want to make sure that these artists are taken care of, because without these musicians and without these artists, none of us would be here. We literally would not be here. Plus, on top of that, you get a Funkatopia hat, kind of like the one I'm wearing, or you could also get one of the purple beanies that's in the picture, either one. A DVD of Prince called The Glory Days, a Club Funketeers bracelet from Bootsy Collins, a Funkatopia sticker, a Funkatopia shirt, and a Prince symbol vinyl for your car. That is the grand prize. That is one friggin' prize. That's one friggin' prize. That's just ridiculous. And if you want to donate, it's right there. It's scrolling on the bottom of the screen. That's how you donate. But here's the important part, and I want to make sure that you understand this. After you donate, you have to send the receipt to me at shout@funkatopia.com. If you have donated to this program, if you've donated to this cause, but have not sent me the receipt, you are not entered into this program. We appreciate your generosity. However, it's not there. So you're not in the contest. You have to send the receipt to me. You have to send the receipt to me. Once I get the receipt, I will reply with an email and I will tell you that you're entered and how many entries you got. Again, for every $5, you get an entry. You donate $5, you get 1. You donate $20, you get 4 entries. Donate $100, you get 20 entries. That's kind of how it works. And right now, currently, as Cami has just noted, we're at $3,340.17. And as I just mentioned, if we get over 3,500, then what we'll do is I'm going to add another 3 prize packages. Now, keep in mind, they're nowhere like the grand prize package. Second place prize package is 2 art prints from Mary A. Johnson, a personally autographed IPA poster from Bootsy Collins. So right now, the top 3 prize packages, all of them contain something that is personally autographed to you from Bootsy Collins. So Bootsy Collins will autograph it and it will be sent directly to you. So again, 2 art prints from Mary A. Johnson, a personally autographed IPA poster. As you know, Bootsy has his own beer. It will actually have a poster and it will be autographed by Bootsy. A new Prince Life and Times hardcover book, a Collector's Prince magazine, actually 3 Prince Collector's magazines, a Funkatopia hat, a Funkatopia sticker, and Prince symbol vinyl for your car. Even that is an amazing prize, and that's not the grand prize. That's the second place prize. And third prize is about the same. Personally autographed card from Bootsy, one print from Mary A. Johnson, 2 Prince Collector magazines, a vinyl for your car, hat, and sticker. And again, givelynow.com/o/Funkatopia. Oh, shit, that's not the right address. God dang it. Hold on, damn it. Hold on. somebody should have warned me, or maybe I was warned. It's o/stars/Funkatopia. That's the correct address. Oh my God. Hopefully you didn't go through the process, but that's it right now. Givelynow.com/o/stars. I'm sure that Cammy's like, that's not the right address. That's not the right address. Yes. Oh yes. I forgot to mention, holy cow. I forgot to mention. Yes. Cammy, thank you for putting the correct address up there. I forgot to mention that Cammy is also she's also including a bottle of perfume from Princess Perfume 3121, a bottle of 3121 perfume. Cammy is also donating that as well. And let me tell you something. Cammy, thank you so much for that. And Michelle Bryant went all out. I mean, she's the one that's responsible for those beautiful handmade book bags that are going to be included in that. Actually, those book bags are going to be added to the second and third place as well. She also did a bunch of magazines, and some of the DVDs, and it's just incredible. So thank you guys so much for your generosity. We are here to support musicians and artists, and it is going to be amazing. And again, as I've mentioned, if you win, this will be sent to you. That grand prize is going to cost me a fortune to send to a winner. It just is. It's just no way around it. It's going to be ridiculous. And we announce the winner next Tuesday. So you need to donate, you need to get it in there, and you need to make sure that you send the email to me with the receipt so that I can tell you how many entries you got and confirm your entries. Okay. So I need to make sure that you understand that. So, what else have I got to say? Not too much anything. We start in 8 minutes. We're going to be going live here in 8 minutes on the show. So I want to make sure that everybody's here and we're all checking in. And again, tonight is going to be an amazing night. We're going to have a lot of fun. We are doing we've been doing these album chats for a long time. We've been doing the album chats primarily has been all the Prince albums. We've done every single Prince album from the beginning all the way till the end. There's a few that we missed over in there because there's just nothing really too much to talk about, like news and expectation and things like that. But these will be pretty amazing. There's still a couple pretty amazing ones. Bria Valente's still in there. We're going to do her album chat. And then, of course, you got Third Eye Girl. We're going to be doing that one as well. I'm trying to kind of get some things together. And because if we do those, I want to make sure that they're special. I'd like to have artists that were involved in the process and really make sure that it's, that there's a lot there to take in, that you maybe possibly hear some really cool background stories that you may not have heard previously. And that's kind of what it's all about. It is just amazing. Chanika, what's going on? Lots of folks online, even more. Let's see how many folks are on the radio station. Okay, a lot of folks on the radio station, a lot of folks here, a lot of folks on YouTube, a lot of folks on Funkatopia.com. So you guys are all over the place. It's fantastic. I love the fact that we can actually broadcast from here. Obviously with the radio station, all they're doing is listening to music right now. Right now, they're in the process of listening to 1999. Oh no, they're listening to the end of Damn You right now. However, they're listening to music, but at 8 p.m. we will go live with all the folks here on the radio. So it's going to be quite a bit of fun for sure. I hope you guys are ready. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of surprises, a lot of cool stuff that I really learned about this album that I don't know that I knew previously. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that as well. We've got this song right here. You know this one, right? So right now, after this song is over, which is a 6-minute song, we're going to go live on radio, and we'll be live. We'll be synchronized across the world. If you guys ever miss any shows, you certainly can go to iHeartRadio, and be able to listen to some of these shows. You can also go to SoundCloud and listen to some of these shows. You can also go to our Patreon supporters. If you want to support the radio station, Patreon is how you do it. If you really are enjoying what you hear, patreon.com/Funkatopia. That's the new address that's scrolling right here. That actually helps us keep us online. A lot of people are not aware that we are an ASCAP licensed radio station. So we actually make sure that all the artists that we play on the radio station that exist online 24/7, that we all get taken care of. And these ASCAP licensing fees are ridiculous. And so we want to make sure that we're doing this legitimately and that the artists are being taken care of. And on top of that, it's just all these streaming services. Even this here costs money. This is a service that you have to pay for. There's internet services, and there's the company that runs the app that actually manages the apps, that kind of keeps it running and takes the broadcast and streams it out to around the world. And people are listening all around the world right now. Where are my international folks? My international folks in the house? I know we've got a Maserati album chat. That's a really good question. Actually, we're kind of in talks with that, and I want to have special guest on to kind of cover the Maserati album chat. So we want to make sure that's taken care of. We do all those things. How many people ordered this magazine? I just got it in the mail today. This magazine came from Australia. It's from the, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the Australian magazine called Uncut. They do a lot of bands, and it's a really cool music magazine. It's one of the coolest music magazines I have seen in forever. But yeah, it's, hey, Cher from Australia. This magazine is from Australia right here. Look at how thick this thing is. It is, it's got all kinds of really cool pictures in it. I mean, obviously it's got some album covers and stuff in here, but it's got pictures in here that I have never seen before. I mean, it's got pictures in here of Prince that I have not seen. Some really cool pictures too. Just some stuff that I've just, lots of really cool photos, but yeah, I can't remember. At one point in time I posted this link, but I don't remember where this link, I'm sure if you look down on the Facebook post, you can, but it's amazing. Yes, Canada counts. Of course it does. Hey, Arlene, amazing magazine. I just was flipping through it, and it's got, a lot of information. It's not just a little bit of info. It's a lot of information on every single album. It's pretty phenomenal. Pretty phenomenal. All right. We've got 3 minutes before we go. Before we go live, I see that Patty is trying to come online, but her camera is not working at the moment. So we will get Peppermint Patty. We will get her. That is Bootsy Collins' wife. She is about to tune in here. And once she does, we'll connect her. She'll probably connect right before as we go live. Yes, I've got music. What's up, Bondrag? Ocean's doing the Bronx. So yeah, a lot of fun tonight. As I said, man, What Time Is It album was a groundbreaking album. And there's a lot of things. Oh my gosh, Cammie just saying, oh boy. Cammie just gave an update. We are at $3,455.17, which means we are only $45 away from the $3,500 mark, which means that once we get to the $3,500 mark, that we're going to have to add 3 more prize packages. Again, this has nothing to do with the ticker that you're seeing right now if you're watching the video. This is the ticker that this relates to. It's givelynow.com/o/stars/Funkatopia. This is where you're going to go to be able to donate to, the Music Cares program that actually supports artists and musicians. Now Patty has got the camera working, but it's pointed towards the floor, so there's some other things going on. So as soon as she comes on, she'll probably join us right as we're going live here on the radio station, which is perfectly fine, because I'm going to go over the Music Cares Challenge one more time, because again, this is the final week that we're going to be doing this. And then after that, we're going to break right into the album chat for the times. What time is it? And I hope you guys are ready, because it's going to be incredible. Donna says, how much for the book? And where did I ordered it from? There was some link. I can't remember. It should be on the Facebook page somewhere. I don't remember exactly where it was on there, but it's on there. I got to make myself live here. And I'm going to have to put on the headset here because people are joining us. Patty's joining on right now. Patty just joined us. I'm going to pull Patty onto the line. Let me get her in here. Hey, Patty, what you doing, girl? I can't hear you. You're muted. I think you're muted. Hold on. Let me see if I can fix you. Oh, you've muted yourself, Patty. All right, I got to go on. Stay tuned, Patty. Stay tuned. All right, we're officially live, folks. Hello, one and all. How you everybody doing? How y'all doing? I wish I could blame it on drugs. A little dumpster funk for your mind. Yeah. It's Dumpster Funk, Dirty Word. That is our intro song. Whenever I try to play that on the radio station, I always get emails and go, oh, is a live show about to start? It's like, no, it's not that. It's Dirty Word by the band Dumpster Funk, which is one of the Isley Brothers iterations, and it's just phenomenal. It's such a great album and such a great song, and it's got a really long musical intro, and it's very cool. It's very awesome. So that all being said, you know what I didn't do? Welcome one and all. I'm Mr. Christopher. You are listening to Funkatopia and the Funkatopia radio show on the Funked Up app. And now tonight you're listening to Funkatopia Live. You guys were confused when Prince changed his name just one time. Funkatopia is the website. I tried it again. Let's have fun about it. Come on, Funkatopia.com is the website. Funkatopia Live is the show you're listening to, the actual station. We refer to it as Funkatopia Radio. And of course, the app that you're listening to is called Funked Up. So, we go by a variety of different names, but I'm not going through the process of buying all those domain names. It's just not happening. It's just not happening. It's just not. Welcome, one and all. I hope you are ready for a phenomenal show. It's going to be a great time tonight. We are going to be covering The Times' second album. What time is it? We're going to be doing an album chat for that album tonight, right where we're at right now. Don't go anywhere. It's a lot of fun. We might just have some really cool surprises for you during the night, during the album chat. So stay put. You're going to enjoy it. Hopefully you're going to learn something and find out a little bit more about the album. And I hope you guys are ready. But before we break into the album chat, before I say that, what I also want to share is that today, August 25th, in 1982 is when that album was released. So it's celebrating its 38th anniversary today, to the day. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you guys are ready. I hope you guys are tuned in. And but before we break into the album chat, I do want to take 5 minutes to welcome a very, very special guest who's a friend of Funkatopia, the beautiful and the lovely wife of Mr. Bootsy Collins, Sir Bootsy Collins. Miss Peppermint Patty is on the line. Hey, Patty, what you doing?
I'm sorry, I've been having technical difficulties. It's raining here and computer wasn't working, but my phone, I said, well, let me just do my phone. So
well, we got you here, which is phenomenal. So let me kind of give you a little bit of an update of what things are going right now. I'm going to have Cammie actually pull the numbers right now. But one of the things that I had gotten, I had said, for those who are just tuning in on the radio station, I give a really, really brief synopsis. And the synopsis is this. Bootsy Collins and Funkatopia are working together to help raise money for artists and musicians that are struggling during the pandemic that do not have the capability to be able to pay their bills. I mean, to put food on their tables, support their families, pay their mortgages. Yeah. And so what we're doing is we've partnered with Bootsy Collins and the Bootsy Collins Foundation and Music Cares, and we are helping to drive donations to that program so that we can kind of help musicians as much as we possibly can. Musicians have saved our lives, and we are, that's what we're here to do. We have to be able to support these musicians. So this is how we're doing it. We decided to kind of move things along. We could keep on saying, yeah, donate, yeah, donate, yeah, donate. And sometimes that just doesn't work because it's just words. So we decided that I was going to break into my personal collection and create a prize package that would be donned upon the winner of the drawing that was going to be chosen next Tuesday. So we're drawing on September 1st, next Tuesday. And Patty, you going to join us for that?
I'm going to be there. And maybe if Bootsy's out of the studio, I'm going to do my best to get him to make an appearance. Yeah.
That would be great. If Bootsy could join us for just 5 minutes just to say hello and everything, that would be awesome, because there are some prizes that are going to be given to the winner by Bootsy. Matter of fact, we have three places. Oh my gosh, Cammie, are you serious? Okay. There's a reason. Let me let me explain why. Let me explain this. So we came up with 3 prize packages. We have a grand prize package that is full of prizes. I mean, just full of prizes. And it just kept getting bigger, where I just kind of just had to cap it out and say, okay, that's it. We're not adding anymore. And we had a 2nd place and a 3rd place as well. And people were like, you should have more prize packages. And I said, I'll tell you what, I'll add 3 more prize packages if we cross over the $3,500 mark. And Cammie just gave me the update. We are at $3,500.17.
Wow, when you speak, but listen, Mr. Chris.
That's just insane. So that means that there's going to be more stuff for me to ship, because now I have to add 3 more prize packages. They're not going to be as big as the first 3, but there'll still be at least a couple collector magazines, maybe some decals, some Funkatopia swag. We'll take care of. So there's going to be 6 prize packages now. But had a little bit of an update, just so for the people that are listening on the radio station that have not been watching the video live, if you do want to watch the video and you want to lay your eyes upon myself, Mr. Christopher, for whatever reason that might be, or the lovely Miss Peppermint Patty, then please do so. You can do so at facebook.com/Funkatopia. You can also do it on our YouTube channel. And of course, most people are listening on Funked Up all over the world right now, and a variety of other places. So here is everything for those people on the radio. I'm sorry for the people that have been watching the video, because you've already got this rundown, but I'm going to do it one more time for the audio, for the radio folks that goes worldwide, so that you can hear what is in this grand prize package. This grand prize package includes a pair of Bootsy Collins star glasses from Shine, a deck of Bootsy Collins playing cards, a personally autographed card from Bootsy Collins to you, a personally signed rare vinyl from Bootsy Collins to you, a box set of Earth, Wind, and Fire's greatest hits called The Eternal Flame, not 1, not 2, but 3 art prints from Mary A. Johnson, a book of Prince's called Life and Times. Well, it's not of it's about Prince, but he didn't write it. Also another book about Prince called Inside the Music and Mask, and another book called Prince and the Purple Rain Era Studio Sessions from Dwayne Tudall. And I just spoke with Dwayne Tudall today, because when I opened up the picture that you see of that book that's in the prize package layout is my book. And I happened to open it up, and I saw that Dwayne had signed it to me. Oh. And it was number 2 of 300. And I was like, I'm not giving this away. I'm sorry. I'm just not. So Dwayne said, no problem. Whoever the winner is, he is going to autograph the book, and he is a hardcover version of the book, and he's going to send it directly to the winner. So not only is that book included, but it's going to be signed by the author as well. You're going to get 2 Prince collector magazines, an original Morris Day tour program, a purple Prince handmade studded book bag, a 12-inch vinyl of Let's Go Crazy that is from my personal collection and is not taken care of whatsoever. It is like totally in a horrible condition, but it's from 1985, and I've been carrying it around for 35 years. I've been carrying it around forever. So you're going to get it. You're actually getting one from my collection. Funkatopia hat, a DVD from Prince called The Glory Days, and a lot of that stuff is from Michelle Bryant also. Club Funketeers bracelet from Bootsy, a Funkatopia sticker, a Funkatopia shirt, and a Prince symbol vinyl for your car. And a Funkatopian Cami is also adding a brand new bottle of Prince perfume called 3121. That's one prize package. That's the great prize.
Of the crop right there.
That's just ridiculous. Oh my gosh, it's ridiculous. That's too much. It's just too much. It's going to cost me a fortune. I'm going to have to open up a GoFundMe account just to afford to be able to send this freaking package. So, anyways, that's the first. Now, so people are like, "Well, good Lord, how do I get into this?" If you're watching the video, the address for it is scrolling across the bottom now, but if you're listening to the audio, it's givelynow.com, which is Gively now, gively ly now.com /O, the letter O /stars, just like it sounds, and just leave it at that. You can add a /Funkatopia on the end of it, but it's not important. But all you got to do is givelynow.com /O /stars. And here's the thing. What you want to do is you have to enter the contest. It's not just about entering the contest. You also have to send the receipt to me. I have to receive the receipt, and then I will tell you how many entries you got. For every $5 that you donate, you get an entry into this contest. So if you donate $20, you get 4 entries. Donate $100, you get 20 entries. And that's how you're going to win this prize package. That you got a shot at winning this grand prize package. So it's huge. It's very much huge. So please make sure that you donate. There it is, givelynow.com /O /stars. And you can put /Funkatopia on the end of it. It's fine. It kind of let them know that you heard about it on Funkatopia, but it's not the point. Just if you donated, please make sure that you send me the receipt. And for every $5, you get an entry. And it's awesome. Second place is 2 art prints from Mary A. Johnson, a personally autographed IPA poster from Bootsy Collins. As you know, Bootsy has his own beer. You're going to autograph his IPA poster, a Life and Times hardcover book about Prince, 3 collector magazines of Prince, Funkatopia hat, Funkatopia sticker, Prince symbol vinyl for your car, and also a handmade studded Prince book bag, also from Michelle Bryant. The third place is kind of similar to that one. I think the only difference is that instead of an IPA poster, you're going to get a personally autographed card from Bootsy Collins and 1 art print from Mary A. Johnson. Pretty much everything else is kind of the same. And then the last 3 prize packages, I don't know. I just found out that it was created, so I don't know what's in them. So there you have it. It is going to be amazing. We got 1 week to go. We're doing the drawing on Tuesday. Yep. So again, Patty, I can't thank you enough for you guys involving us. And remember, just because this contest ends on September 1st does not mean that the donation part of it doesn't end until October 23rd, because October 23rd, we've got a massive thing that's going to be going on. We've got a really, really cool concert we're going to be telling you about. Bootsy Collins' brand new album is going to be dropped, and there's all kinds of announcements that are going to be happening on October 23rd. And Funkatopia and Bootsy Collins are going to be doing something very, very cool in between that time before that show actually ends. So please make sure that you get your donations in before this Tuesday if you want to get into this prize package. But there's another prize package that's coming between September 1st and October 23rd, and we don't fully have everything wrapped up with that one yet, but it's coming, and there's a lot of stuff.
Mr. Christopher, we'll have some great news for Funkatopians, so please tune in.
Mm-hmm. You heard it. She said it. Anything else you want to tell us how this new album from Bootsy is coming?
You know what? He's in the studio right now, mastering the single. And guess what, Mr. Christopher? We just got our first shipment of the new CD.
Oh my God, you're kidding me. Wait a second. Are you serious right now?
Came in the mail today. So I do want to include one of these, a signed copy, in one of the packages, Mr. Christopher. I can't give it out until the 23rd, but we have to make sure that we give this baby to one of our wonderful Funkatopians.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me make this screen bigger, and then I want you to hold that up to the camera so that people can actually see it. Let me give you a full view. Hug. All right, go ahead and hold that thing up. Oh my gosh, look at that. It's the brand new album from Bootsy Collins, and she's got it. She's holding it in her hands right now. We're looking at it. I'm looking at it.
Power of the one, baby.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I apologize to you radio folks who cannot see it. That's one of the benefits of being on video, but yeah, man, waiting for it. It's going to be amazing. Make sure you get your donations in. It's going to be incredible. We do the drawing next Tuesday. Donate and make sure that you send me your receipt. I don't know if I've given out the email address. It's shout, SHOUT, shout at Funkatopia.com. That's FUNKATOPIA.com. Make sure you send the receipts there to shout at Funkatopia.com, and I will respond to your email. If I have not sent you a response, then you don't have it. So there's that. All right, Patty. Thank you so much, dear.
One more thing. I was wondering, Emmy Sunshine, who is singing on the Stars song,
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering if maybe we could have her come on next week too for this big prize giveaway. I know she would love to be a part of the show.
Absolutely. Yeah, let's make it. We'll do a party.
We'll talk tomorrow, and I'll invite her, and you tell me what to do next.
Sounds like a plan. Thank you so much, Patty.
Thank you, Funkatopians. I love you.
Call me. All right, ladies and gentlemen. And as I told you, as I mentioned to you, thank you guys so much for joining us. As I mentioned, we're about to start here with the album chat for The Time. We're going to be talking about the second album from The Time. What time is it? That celebrates its 38th anniversary today. 38th anniversary today. So we're going to be going in and we're going to be doing the album chat. And I want to make sure that you guys are ready, because I told you that there was going to be a little bit of the possibility of a little bit of a surprise for this broadcast. And that surprise has just tuned in and is waiting right now. Are you guys ready? I just need to make sure that all these folks are ready here on the radio station. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome to the album chat for The Time. We're doing this album chat tonight. For what time is it? Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm round of applause and welcome to the one and only Jelly Bean Johnson's in the house. What you doing, brother?
How you doing, man? What's up, Chris?
What's up?
What's up, man?
Surprise, surprise. See, I try to keep all this stuff on the down low. It's just so difficult to keep secrets nowadays. How are you doing, man?
Just hanging, man. You know, the only thing getting me through this craziness is prayer and exercise, baby. So it's nice for me.
Yeah, I heard you were just out on a bike ride, so that's gotta be that's gotta be man.
Every day, got to do it, man. Otherwise, I'd lose my damn mind. Okay.
So when you heard, I don't know if you were even paying attention, but when you heard that the album was going to be released, that when the album was released today, 38 years ago to the day, does that even process in your head? Does it feel like it's been 38 years that's gone by?
Chris, it just makes me feel just how old I really am. Bro, I just show I've been around here a long time. You know?
I can only imagine, man. I just can't. I mean, I remember when this album came out. I remember where I was. I remember where I was living. I remember hearing it on the radio, and when I heard 38 years, I was like, really? It was 38 years? No. Every time one of these anniversaries comes up, it's just amazing to me.
I've been going through it recently too, because now, the families is 35, and it's this month too. So I got to do some stuff with them, like on Friday. But yeah, man, it's God.
So I heard that, normally it was good to be able to get you on the show. I don't know how long you can hang out for, because I know we're going to be doing a little bit of an album chat, and we kind of walk through all the tracks that are on the album. And I know you probably don't have the time for all that. I mean, you're more than welcome to stay for that, obviously. But what I would like to do is, how long can you stay with us? How long can you hang out?
I'm good for about 20 minutes, man.
Okay. Well, then let's do this. Before we break into this album chat, like the normal way that we normally break into the album chat, I want to talk a little bit about, some of the basic stuff that was going on with, I know what was happening there's one, I read something that Prince was kind of on this controversy tour. And I think what it ended up happening is that you guys did a show. There was a show that was done in Minneapolis in a venue that seated like about 15,000 or something like that. And only about a third of the venue showed up. Yeah. And that kind of put Prince in this mode where he kind of felt like he really needed to prove something, and just kind of was just in this really frazzled mode to kind of really pump out this next, this next step. And do you remember everything that was going on during that period of time, and how you guys felt as far as, what was about to happen? Did you kind of see that it was about to whirlwind was about to happen at this point?
Wow, it's so long ago, bro. But, I just remember the first tour from the first album and stuff. And it was cool and everything, but he knew we had to, make another big step. And see, the thing people don't realize, we were like Prince's R&B side. We was the R&B black band he always wanted to be in.
Right.
So we were like, his alter ego, basically. So all his funk and booty shaking music, he would like tend to give to us. And, but he knew for him to cross over, he had to do Low Red Corvette and all that. He had to get the white people on his side. So he had to do, that kind of thing. So I knew this was coming, man, but I just didn't, I didn't realize to what extent. We had just got off the big tour, with the first album and stuff. And I was just kind of waiting to see what happened and stuff. And then I started to hear some of the tracks that was coming out, and I was like, oh my God, When I heard some of the tracks to What Time Is It, I was like, oh my God, this is a whole step up from the first record. So.
Yeah. Did you kind of feel like, I know we're gonna talk about this in the album chat, but I knew that if you ever got the opportunity to actually hang out for the album chat, I wanted to make sure, if you didn't get a chance, I wanted to ask you about 777-9311 and how difficult that song was to kind of because it's not the easiest song.
It wasn't. Well, Chris, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. It was No Day at the Beach, and you gotta realize that was the first single off What Time Is It? And I never forget, we was rehearsing for the 1999 tour, and we knew we were gonna be in the middle, and open Advantage 6 was gonna open, and we was gonna be in the middle. So I remember one day distinctly, we were rehearsing at the convention center downtown. We had Prince put the whole production thing, that's how he would do it. And we rehearsed a good month before we even went out. But I remember me, him, and Morris sitting down at my drum kit, man, and figuring out how in the hell is Jelly Bean going to play this beat in concert and have these guys dance and do all the, the cool, we had thought of cool ass dances, the four corners and all that stuff for it. But to be able to pull that off every night in concert was going to be a challenge for me because, that beat is a David Garibaldi beat who, by the way, me and Morris grew up idolizing him. Prince too. We grew up idolizing Tower of Power.
Yeah.
So and Garibaldi had designed that beat, and Prince made the song around it. So, but it's almost inhumanly impossible to play that beat, like it is a drum machine. Even though I got a lot of world-class drum friends that have done it over the years, and I've been doing it 40 years. But that beat is very, very challenging. And I always tell drummers, you want to work on your chops, learn that beat.
Yeah. And it was funny because one of the things that I mentioned in the album chat, when we do the album chat, one of the things that we mention is that Questlove had mentioned that he spent the better part of 3 months trying to learn that beat because it's very off kilter.
Yeah.
But and he
it's
said
it's not your basic 2 and 4. It's not.
Yeah. So that was a question I was going to ask. That was a question I was going to ask because I'm not a drummer. Yeah.
2 and 4 is in there, but it's subtle. You know, the hand claps are doing the 2 and 4 for you. The beat is off kilter, but the hand claps is giving you the 2 and 4. So, you know, so that's what you're shaking your butt to, you know, and
Right.
you got this cool ass beat going, but you got hand claps going too on 2 and 4. So, you know, and that's how you dance to it. But most people don't get that, you know.
Yeah, I just can't. Yeah, and as somebody who's not a drummer, that's what I was like, it seems pretty normal, but then even as me not being a drummer, if I try to like, you know, go through the motions, I just can't do it. I just can't do it. So now is it just pretty much?
You gotta have to be an octopus to play that beat. It's just bottom line.
Well, and is it second nature now for you when you get behind it? You just
after 40 years, after 40 years of second nature. But trust me, it wasn't in the beginning. Trust me, it was not.
Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. And I know that there was a lot of things that were going on, you know, especially during the Triple Threat tour, when everything was going on as far as the competition between, you know, when you guys would get on and hammer out these 30-minute sets that were just loaded with these amazing songs. And then what ended up happening is that, you know, it was just one of those scenarios where Prince was just getting increasingly frustrated because he kept on feeling like you were in a position where you guys were just outperforming him. Do you remember what the set list was that you were? I mean, I think we could probably obviously look it up, but do you remember what the set list was?
Well, the first album, man, we frustrated him so much on the first album, man, because we was whooping that ass, man. Because you got to realize, Chris, that's the only satisfaction we were getting, because we wasn't getting rich. The only one was making decent money was Morris, and you know, and Prince wasn't exactly the nicest guy. So, you know, that was our only way, was them 40 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever to get back at him, or at least have some sanity and feel good about yourself, was those 30, 40 minutes that we had. And it was funny because the more and more we got successful and more the crowd, you know, got into us and everything, the less and less space we got on stage every night.
Yeah, and I heard you. And what was it like? Because I remember
every night would be a little bit closer to the edge of the stage. My drum riser would disappear. The drums would be down on the floor. Monty and Jimmy be next to me, you know, right next to me on the side. You know, they might still be on their risers, but I'd be down on the floor when normally, you know, all three of us would be on risers. But it'd be less and less every night till finally he stopped doing that. But we thought it was funny.
Are you serious? See, I had heard that. I mean, I had heard the harder stuff, like removing you guys from Billings and some of the bigger cities and stuff like that. But you know, what I didn't know is when you were moved off of Billings that you still had to go and perform as the band behind Vanity Six. I wasn't aware of that part.
Chris, that was heartbreaking. I'm not gonna lie. And the places that happened at was the two biggest markets. It was New York and LA. And I'll never forget. And I said this in the original Sevens. We had this documentary and everything. But I just remember sitting there in New York and in LA. And Chris, every major star you could think of was backstage in the dressing room. Wanting to talk to her, see us, and all that stuff. And the time wasn't even on the bill. We was just backing up Vanity Six. And I just remember, I was so heartbroken by that. But, you know, once again, that just helped us whoop his ass even more when we were in concert with him. You know, when we did show up, you know, we would tear that ass up because that's the only, retribution we were getting back from it, because, that's how it was. He was the man. He was in charge. It was his stage. It was his show. And here with the two biggest markets, I never forget Sting, Magic Johnson, just every major star, Wesley Snipes, just everybody in our dressing room, and they want to see the Time, and the Time's not performing that night. The Time is incognito behind Vanity Six. behind a fish curtain with pink stockings and shit. We back there behind there with, playing for their ass.
Oh my God. You just said that.
Yeah. No, that happened, Chris. That happened. That happened. And the other guys in the time, most of them would tell you. Some of them maybe won't, but most of them would tell you that happened. I guarantee you.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So this album comes out. I'm going to be walking through some of the tracks on this album tonight. And once again, for those of you who are listening online on the radio station around the world, they're going, hey, who's talking? I'd like to welcome the one and only Jelly Bean Johnson to the show. He's not going to be hanging out for the album chat. We got like 20 minutes with him. So we are like spending some time just kind of hanging out and talking a little bit. And he's still out and about and still actively playing shows. I heard that Tuesday night was like your night to actually go out and kind of play some live shows. Whereabouts are you playing in Minneapolis and around? What are you doing?
There's a blues jam here every Tuesday night. So
nice.
And anybody that knows me, privately know that I love the blues. Because I was born in Chicago. I have a lot of friends in Chicago, a lot of blues greats I was around and stuff. And the Brooks, the Brooks family, Wayne Baker Brooks, Ronnie Baker Brooks, Lonnie Brooks.
Oh man.
And so I did Ronnie's first 3 albums, and they're all Chicago blues, and stuff. So I love the blues. So, and with this pandemic going on, Chris, there's limited things you can do here live. It's very limited. I have a local band here called JB and the Routine. We're playing this weekend. That's one of the few live shows we're doing. We're playing next weekend too. But, it's just like you just got to get in and where you can fit in right now. And this and then the other thing too, the shows are only 7 to 10 o'clock. Well, I'm used to, at least midnight,
Yeah, I've seen you. I've seen you a few times.
No,
I've seen you. Yeah, I've seen you up in your hometown. You play till 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Something's wrong if I'm back home by 10. Something wrong.
So we got all these people. I know that, what I want to do is I definitely want to give people an opportunity to be able to ask you some questions. Got a bunch of people that are saying hello.
Okay.
You got hello from Cammie Mattingly says hello. Jackie says hello.
Okay.
Sylvia, Jill Norman, Susan, Lenny Beeson says, what's up, Jelly Bean? Matter of fact, you said get in where you fit in. That's Lenny Beeson's saying. He says that all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Terry says hello. Trisha says hello. Manny says, I wanted Baggy Pants and Stacey Adams.
Wow. Yeah.
You guys set a precedent. Because I remember when I had a picture that I was showing not too long ago of me in, it was because 1985 or 86, wearing a pink suit, like top to bottom.
Yeah, Jesse
and it was
Johnson,
all Jesse Johnson's fault.
Be your man.
When I first met Jesse Johnson, I happened to have that picture on my phone and I showed it to him and I said, you see what you did? You see what you did? He goes, oh man, don't blame that on me.
That's great. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, so Manny said he wanted those baggy pants and Stacey Adams. And let's see. April says, hello, hey, Jelly Bean from Tampa. I met you at Prince's 60th birthday celebration, your meet and greet.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I remember that. Yikes.
Yes. Yeah. Well, of course, Letty says 777-9311 is a classic. Vinyl Jeopardy says, Jelly Bean, thanks for coming. And he says, we're all old. Yes, that's
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Yes, we are. And let's see. Cammie says, seeing Jelly Bean is on my bucket list. You got to get it in. So yeah, I don't see any other question. I don't see any questions on here. If you guys have any questions for Jelly Bean, we only got like about 10 more minutes left. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and get them out, and let's get him the questions while we got him on here. And kind of while I got you, since we're talking about what time is it, what are some of the standout songs? I mean, obviously 777-9311 is really kind of in a class all its own, because that song is not just from a beat standpoint and just from a song structure standpoint, exactly it's definitely a standalone. What are some of the other songs, one of the other 5 on this album, that really stand out to you?
Well,
and
for me, on the first album, and I was just telling someone, me and Jeff radio show every Wednesday night. I was just talking about that. I remember on the first album, and still to this day, we're in concert. When the time's in concert, more than the time's in concert, I always could tell how the audience is going to go, how the audience is reacting to us. But when we get to Cool, we get to the song Cool, I'm playing the beat and I can just see how people are reacting. And that lets me know what kind of night we're usually going to have. So that's a staple song for the time, for Morrissey and the time. The other one for me, the challenging song for me is The Walk in concert, because it
Really?
has such a distinct, intro. Morris is a world-class drummer. And I always said he's the closest to David Garibaldi that I've heard out here and stuff. And I even told Garibaldi that, but yeah, it has a distinct intro to it. And it's funny, the few times that I've been, when Morris has had to get a sub for me when I had out after Lux, I had some other stuff to do, that he always takes that song out of the set because the drum beat is so distinctive in the intro and stuff that most drummers cannot get that for some reason. It's kind of like 7/7.
Right.
The intro just throws them off when they try to do it. And I've seen guys try to do it, and I just kind of chuckled,
That's gotta be funny. So you get to, well, I know, like when you do like the Jelly Bean Johnson experience, sometimes you do that in Minneapolis, where you have like a whole bunch of bands that kind of come in and they want to kind of redo some of the stuff, and you're like, it's got to be funny to kind of see bands' interpretations of your work.
Oh yeah, and it's funny too, Chris, because I've seen some great interpretations of us, and I've seen some horrible ones.
I bet you have.
And you have to hold your tongue, because you have to give them at least credit for at least you try, But yeah, like I said, I've seen some great ones and I've seen some horrible ones, man. So
here I've got some questions, Joel. I know the answer to this question, but I'll let you answer it anyways. We're going to cover it in the album chat as well. Mary Arad says, was it Dez's phone number 777-9311?
You know what? I think it was, but he had to change it almost immediately after that song came out. He had to get rid of it. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be talking about that on the album chat. It was Dez's phone number, and Prince called him on the phone and was talking to him, and I guess played a little bit of it. And when Dez heard it over the phone, he was like, "I'm gonna have to change my phone number.
Yeah, it's
not gonna go well."
Only Prince had a warped sense of humor like that. He didn't even ask Dez. He just went and made the damn song and then called him up and say, "Hey man, let's check this out."
Okay, now
probably was cracked, doubled up laughing and shit. I'm like, dude. Yeah.
How long have you had your existing phone number?
Oh wow, the one I got now. Oh my God, at least about 30, 35 years, man.
Okay, so what would happen if that happened again and Prince made a song using your phone number that you have now, that you have 35 years? How would you handle that?
But me and him would get into it because we had a very contentious relationship, but we loved each other.
Oh my God!
He would get an old-fashioned Jelly Bean Johnson cussing out. But I changed my phone number. I'd have to do it. Yeah.
Andre says, "How much did you learn from Prince?" That's kind of a loaded question for sure, I imagine.
Yeah, it's a loaded one. I learned a lot, bro. He made me famous. I learned a lot. I stole a lot from him. He don't know to this day. I'm sure he chuckles some of the times when he hear my productions and stuff. I'm sure he heard, well, I know where he got that lick from, or I know where he got that idea from. But I stole a lot from him. I've been blessed to be around some really talented guys that I took a lot from. I took a lot from Jimmy Terry. I took a lot from Jesse Johnson. Took a lot of guitar tricks from Jesse and Prince. So I use their stuff on them. I use it against them.
Yeah. I mean, and you've got some great new.
All fair and love and more.
I mean, you've got some great new stuff that's out there now. Put some jelly on all the stuff. Tell people about some of the stuff that you're working on now that they can pick up now that you have.
Yeah, I have 3 singles out now. The first one is Put Some Jelly on It. And the cool thing about Put Some Jelly on It is it's the Minneapolis funk, but it has the Chicago horns on it. We use Tom Washington, who's famous for Earth, Wind, and Fire and all the Chicago soul bands. He's a famous horn arranger. And I got him to put the horn arrangement and put some jelly on it. And the reason of that, Chris, is because Flight Time, as a 15, 16-year-old kid in Flight Time, we had 5, 6 horns players when we were coming up. Flight Time was a horn band. Right. So, so I always wanted that sound. I kind of got away from it during my years in the time and my productions and stuff like that. So when it got time for me to do my own thing, and I had a chance to put some horn players on something, I was like, wow, let's do it. And then when I heard it, I was like, oh, I was blown away, and then to have somebody iconic like Tom, come up with a horn arrangement like that was great. I mean, I got horn arrangements done. I did a song on Janet Jackson called What'll I Do? I use horn players for that stuff, but a different local guy that I used for horn arrangements for that. But this Tom Tom is iconic, man. He really is. And
Yeah,
then,
and there's plenty of talented bands. There's a band out of Minneapolis, and you're probably familiar with them, Foe.
oh yeah, they're friends of mine. Yeah,
Yeah, those kids, man. Let me tell you something. They're young cats, but you want to talk about?
Yeah,
my
they
gosh.
no joke, man. I told him right now, I said, the only thing holding you guys back, you guys need to get a lead singer. And he's like, Bean, yeah, we know. I said, yeah, you should get a lead singer. You know, you got all the tracks, you got all, you know, they do a lot of fusion and instrumentals and stuff, but they should get a lead singer and they would really just go to the next level. I've told them that. Yeah.
Yeah, Foe's not to be messed with for sure.
No.
I know you already answered this question. William F. Carter says, "What up, Jelly Bean? What is your favorite time song, either that you recorded or to play live?" I know you mentioned Cool, but is there something else that maybe those are two separate things? Maybe one that you recorded that you're really proud of your work. I mean, I know that Prince recorded a lot of stuff, but I'm talking about
Prince and Morris played the bulk of the drums. But you know, I'm proud of the Bird. The Bird is me. You know, so you know, I always like playing that in concert, but you can see how people lose their mind the minute we break into that. So but yeah, probably the Bird. And you know, I like playing Cool live. I like playing The Walk. You know, back in the early days when we only had, you know, a few songs, we you know, Morris put so many licks in that, so we used to play them all in concert. We used to play the whole song. So I used to always have to stay on top. It was kind of like 7/7. It was a challenge to play all the licks that Mo had played, you know, and get them right in concert and stuff. So yeah,
it's some of that stuff is real tricky when you try to, you know, actually kind of do some work. This is actually probably a loaded question. You know, hopefully it doesn't cause any controversy. But why didn't the original 7 really take off? I think we kind of knew that, you know, Jesse kind of stepped away because he didn't feel like you guys were moving quick enough to, you know, to set up the touring and whatever. But what happened with the original 7 as far as, you know, why weren't you guys able to keep moving forward?
It was heartbreaking, baby. I just, you know, I kind of probably shouldn't get into it now. That is such a sore subject with me.
Because I know a lot of people saying, why'd you guys have to name yourself Original 7 too? There's always been a question about that, about why.
Yeah, it's a loaded question, and trust me, one day I'm gonna tell the truth on why, and I got my own opinion on why I shouldn't, and the powers that be know why, you know, this happened. So I'm gonna just leave it like that for now, Chris. You know.
Now here's what I can tell. Here's what I can tell you folks.
Management and shit, man. Come on.
Yeah, here's what I can tell Jeff Smith. If you've got the album Condensate, there is a DVD in there. You can. You can load the DVD.
You load the DVD. It doesn't tell you why it happened,
but you get a pretty good idea.
But you get an idea, kind of, yeah. But there's definitely some definite reasons why that record did not do what it should have done. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and it also has to do with marketing and placement, and just radio is a totally different beast now. So
there's a lot of people at fault for that. It's a lot of powers that be that's at fault for that.
Is Jelly Bean Johnson related to Terrence Jackson?
No, Terrence Jackson. I grew up with him. He was in Grand Central. He's a good friend of mine. He's a percussionist. He was in Grand Central with Prince when Prince was there. He grew up with Morris, and you know, he's a bad man, but we're not related.
Let's see. Lenny said, I was at the Food Fight show in Cincinnati. After the gig, was the Time and the Revolution on separate tour buses?
Yeah, we were. We fought like cats and dogs, but we were on separate buses. Prince got mad. Prince was mad at us because we whooped their ass about that whole thing, you know, and he charged Morris a bunch of money for all the damages that happened, you know, but it needed to happen, man. It had been brewing. And like I told you before, Chris, that was the only thing we had. Cause like I said, we wasn't making a bunch of money. And you know, after a while, you know, you only could take so much, you know, so.
Right.
And, you know, they had done some terrible things to some, you know, matter of fact, they took Jesse off stage while we were in concert, took him backstage, handcuffed him to the thing in the room, poured food all over him. So that was enough right there to get their asses whooped for that. Jerome poured syrup all over his head.
Oh my God.
And we're in concert. Chris, we're in concert. People don't even know what's going on. So,
I heard
Chris got mad at me years later when I was telling people that, you know, what I'm saying when I'm there, but I didn't care. You know, dude, come on, man. You know, he knew.
I heard in Chick's book, Chick Hansberry, Big Chick, he's got a book called White Slave. I don't know if you've seen it.
No.
White Slave being that he was a slave to cocaine.
Yeah.
He actually talked about the excerpt You just agreed. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There was an excerpt in there where he was talking about that show, and he said, what did he say? He talked about how furious that Jesse Johnson was at that moment, because
Chris,
Jesse Johnson was like, it was bad.
Dude, Jesse found some otherworldly strength, man. He pulled the coat rack that they had him attached to, handcuffed to. He snatched it out of the wall. That's how mad his ass was. And we're unconscious. We don't know what the hell's going on. We look up, he's back. They got him backstage. All the Revolution's doing that to him. Prince ass is on stage playing with us, playing the guitar with us.
Oh no.
Knowing what's going on, knowing the whole time he's behind this.
Oh
But
no.
that's the thing. So yeah. So
Oh
yeah,
my God.
I've been through it, bro. These people just don't know. I've been through it.
I know we got to wrap it up. We just got like a few more questions. Mary said, when did you last get to see Prince?
We about January of 16, man. We played a show at Paisley. He had us. He summoned us and stuff. And trust me, Morris was reluctant to do it, but he made Prince send the money ahead of time and in advance and all that. And me, during this time, I'm gonna tell a little side story about this too. During this time, we did this for about 6 months. Me and Morris was making the switch in concert, whereas he would go back and play the drums, and I would go out front and play the guitar and play I played like the intro to Black Cat and play some Hendrix licks and all that.
Oh, really cool.
So we were doing that, right? So he gets the call from Morris. He gets the call from Prince, like Prince wants us to play at Paisley. When Morris is like, send the money, and so he sent the money. So then I'm thinking about, okay. So now, granted, Chris, I don't know if you remember this. About a few months prior to this, I seen Prince on TV with his girl band, and he had played on was it Fallon, whatever band? Who's the band? The Roots, Questlove and them.
That's Jimmy Fallon's.
Fallon. Okay.
Night show. Yeah.
So Prince was on TV with them, and their guitar players let him use their guitar.
Right, and he broke it that night too.
And he destroyed that bus, man.
It was a collect.
It was like, I lost my damn mind. I was like, really? Did he?
Yeah, that was
on national TV to this boy's guitar.
Yeah, that was Captain Kirk's guitar from
Captain
the Roots.
Kirk. That's Captain Kirk's cool brother.
You see me wearing the shirt. I'm wearing the shirt right here.
Man. So when all this shit was going on, he was calling us to play us, and me and Morris was doing the switch. I told Morris, I pulled Morris aside. We were in a couple cities before, a couple nights before. And I say, dude, I need you to have my back. I say, because if Prince destroys my guitar while we're at Paisley, it's gonna be in the papers, bro. It's gonna be on the national wire. It's gonna be an Inquirer. It's gonna be on everything, TMZ, everything. It's gonna be, because they're gonna see the real North Side come out in Jelly Bean.
Yeah, and I can't even imagine. Well, that was actually like a classic guitar too. That was not just like
one 61 Epiphone. It was a 61. It cost thousands of dollars. God. And now, mind you, Chris, he sent Captain a nice ass guitar, because that wasn't the first time he had destroyed another cat's guitar. He had done that. Now, you know what? I've seen him do it. I've seen him get mad one time. Those love symbol guitars. Yeah, I've seen him. He fell one time in concert here, and I've seen him destroy one of them too. I've been lucky enough to be on stage and play one of those with him. But he fell one time, and he literally destroyed that damn thing in front of 20,000 people.
Wow, I've never seen him fall.
Yeah, he fell and hurt himself really bad.
Wow, really? I don't. Wow.
So anyway, that was my whole side story about us. And then so we played, and we did the switch and everything, and it was great and everything. And he got Morris up for 2 hours after that show, and talked to him and told him a lot of stuff, what I'm not going to get into right now. But right. It was, and that was the last time that we were around him. And then, that was it. So,
yeah, there's plenty of stories, man.
Hey, I got the stories, Chris.
Yeah.
Ain't put them out yet, but I got them. Trust me.
Ann says, "Are there time recordings in the vault at Paisley Park?" Yes, I know the answer to the question. Yeah,
Yes,
we know. Yeah. Wait, yeah, I want to ask you a question. I've always wanted to ask this question, and since I got you, I know Corporate World is an album that kind of ended up kind of getting split between Pandemonium and Graffiti Bridge, and there were some other tracks that were kind of lost in there, like that title track. At one point in time, I'd stumbled on a website that said that there was a Time album called Old Dogs New Tricks.
Yeah, that's part of the catalog that's in the vault. You know, it's all kind of.
There is an album called There is an album by the Time called Old Dogs New Tricks.
There's a song. I don't know if they was gonna name the whole album that, but there's a song that's there. It's a whole bunch of stuff. You remember Corporate Dick was originally was going to be just Jerome and Morris. Yeah, and then Jimmy and Terry got involved, and then Jimmy and Terry went to Warner Brothers and wanted to, and said the whole band should do it. So we got Prince. That's one of the few times in his lifetime he agreed with us, and we got together, and that's how Pandemonium was born. We ended up doing Pandemonium instead, and we took some of those songs from Corporate World and put a few songs that. I never forget going to Paisley and hanging out with Prince, and he asked us, what songs we wanted from him, and I distinctly told him "Jerk Out" and "Chocolate." So I know we got those two from him, and then we did other stuff. The original guys had us. Jesse had stuff, Jimmy Terry, had stuff, and that's what ended up being Pandemonium. So
as far as you guys' questions, I know we got two more questions, and I'm going to cut it off because I know you got a show to do. Man, I wish I was up there to see that. It would be amazing. Oh my gosh, because I haven't seen a concert since February.
Man, they just shut down all the Ain't no live gigs right now, man. You know what too, Chris is killing me, man. I got YouTube TV and all that shit. You get tired of watching. There's only so many shows you can watch. You can watch yourself in concert. You want to play. I like to play. It's just hard to watch all the old time shows. I watched a show from us in '91, man, over in Japan. I was like, I forgot all about it. I was like, damn. I forgot all the arrangements and everything. I was like, damn.
Maisha asks, what is your favorite venue in Chi-Town, and when can we see you there? Well, obviously, the question of when can we see you there is going to be when this thing freaking lets up.
They got some real problems going on in Chi-Town right now, man. It just breaks my heart, man. It just breaks my heart. Wow. It's so many of the iconic blues clubs there. There's Buddy Guy's Legends. There's Kingston Mines. There's Blues. All those places are great, iconic places, but you can't go. You can't go there right now. They show one picture. They had broke, Buddy's windows out of his club and stuff. That man's 84 damn years old, man. He don't need that. Nah. And there's all kind of legendary. He had to take all his Grammys and gold records and platinum records off the wall and all. He had merchandise. He'd take all the stuff, iconic guitars from different iconic guitar players. He'd take all that stuff down, and put it on storage.
Because at least he got it. It didn't get stolen.
No, but they would loot. They just looted. What is it called? Magnificent. It's a stretch of stores there, man. Iconic stores. They just looted the hell out of them, man. It's just sad. Michigan Avenue, man, is all boarded up. It's just sad. It's absolutely sad. But this is where we are today.
Adam Laurie says, "What other new artists are you listening to?"
I like Kingfish. Christian Kingfish. Yeah. I like Gary Clark Jr.
Oh yeah, Gary Clark.
Yeah,
I love Gary Clark.
But Eric Gales, it's those are the kind of guys I'm listening to right now, man. They inspire me. They're the new breed. They're 21st century. And that's the kind of stuff I'm listening to right now. And I'm sure I'm leaving somebody else. I like Stokely. Stokely got his new stuff out.
Yep.
So I don't know. Yeah.
And prayers up for Chance Howard.
Prayers for Chance. That's my big bro. He was in a terrible accident, man, and he's still in recovery mode. And I miss him. He's on the Jelly Bean Johnson Experience record that's coming out.
Yep. That's where I brought him up. Yep.
Yeah.
Last question. How would Jelly Bean Johnson teach someone to learn the drums?
Oh man, Chris, I get asked to teach all the time. My skills are from the street. So it's hard to sit down and physically show, tell somebody what to play. My mother, man, when I was a kiddie, I was a little shorty, man, around 12, 13. She did like 6 months of drum lessons for me. And all the dude wanted to teach me was Jerry Lee Lewis and rock and roll drums and shit. Well, Chris, I was from Chicago, man. I wanted to learn James Brown, Clyde Stubblefield, David Garibaldi, that kind of stuff. So I made her stop, I made her take me out of lessons after like 6 months because I wasn't learning what I was needed to learn, man. So, and then I just got woodshedded. I laid down at my mom's stereo and put my ear to the stereo and started mimicking the beats, that I was hearing on these different iconic records, on all the James Brown records and Tower Power records, and I think Cold Blood, all that kind of stuff, man.
All the greatest drummers do the exact same thing. They learn they learn the favorite, just learn your favorite music because that's what you're passionate about. That's what you want to recreate. That's the best way to do it. Yeah.
You said the magic word, they're passionate, because when you're passionate about something, you're going to put in the time. Sure, technically, drum lessons are great. They do all the paradiddles, all the different technical stuff. You learn that. But you really learn when when you're passionate about something and you're trying to figure out how this guy is doing that on that record.
Yep.
And that's who I was. That's how I learned,
And like the Questlove thing, he spent 3 months learning it before he found out that it was a drum machine.
A drum machine, yeah. And I tell people all that drum beat made me famous, but it's a drum machine. They still to this day, it's amazing how many drummers actually think, and then they come see me play. I get pretty close in concert, but that's the thing, if that goes back to what we were just talking about. If you're passionate about something, you're going to learn how to play it where, people are going to accept it and it's acceptable, So.
Right. And I'll be myself, my good friend, Nick Garcia, Nick Argelia, and Elena Day say hello to Jelly Bean. So he sent me a text, so I got to make sure I tell that. Jelly Bean, thank you so much for joining us, man. It's really, really cool. We're going to...
You, Chris, you know that. Man. I love you.
Yeah, I love you too, brother. Yeah. We need to get you on when you got some time, maybe not on a Tuesday night. We're going to have to spend some time hanging out because I know you got some stories, and I'll try to not get you in trouble. I'll try to not get you in trouble.
I'm trying to stay out of trouble with management right now. I don't want no, I got a life separate from this, man.
Yeah, I know, man. But I'm looking forward to. Everybody head over to Jelly Beans.
Chris, you'll know.
I better know. Everybody head over. You got a brand new website, jellybean-johnson.com.
Yeah.
Man, it's looking good, and obviously you got some new stuff coming out. You want to keep, and if you happen to be in the Minneapolis area, you should probably not watch the album chat, just watch it later and head out to wherever Jelly Bean's going. Where's it going to be tonight?
Huh?
Where's it going to be tonight?
It's a blues club here called Waleski's. It's a Waleski's Blues Club. It's Blues Jam, yeah.
So if you happen to be in Minneapolis, then you can go ahead and cut out and head over to Waleski's.
Yeah, St. Paul, Minneapolis.
St. Paul,
Minnesota. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Brother, it's an honor. Thank you so much for stopping in, man.
All right, take care of yourself, Chris.
Take care.
Cool.
Good night.
Yeah.
All right, so that was a little bit of a surprise. I hope you guys were surprised. Everybody surprised? Is that cool? Man, we still got an album chat to do. We haven't even gotten into the album chat yet. I love some of the impromptu stuff. I wanted to make sure that we had, his schedule was just a little bit off kilter, and I'm so glad we were able to get him in here and do a little bit of an interview and hang out and whatnot. So now we are going to be able to break into the album chat for, what is it? What time is it? That's right. What time is it? We're going to be doing it. I'm glad you guys were surprised. I was hoping it would work out because it was a lot of fun, and I love talking to Jelly Bean. He's such a great guy to talk to. Lots of great stories. So let me get my sip of water, and let's break into this album chat now. And man, let's break into it. That was good stuff. That's a good start. That was 1 hour. That all happened in the first hour, folks. There you go. We haven't even started. So here we go. Getting ready now. No commercial breaks here. That's because we are listener supported. You can support this radio station by going to Funkatopia. I'm sorry, you can go to Funkatopia.com if you want. That's ultimately where we want you to go. But if you want to support this radio station, it's patreon.com/Funkatopia, patreon.com/Funkatopia, Topia. Make sure that you support the same. As a matter of fact, Patreon supporters are going to get the first access to the replay of tonight's broadcast, including this interview and everything else. So you want to make sure that all that stuff is there. Man, that was cool. Thank you so much for hanging out. That was awesome. So let's do it. Shall we? Let's break into the album chat. Let me see what time we're at here so I can kind of get an idea of how far we went in. All right, there it is. Here it is, the album chat for the Times' second album, What Time Is It? And before this broadcast, we covered the Times' third album, Ice Cream Castle, and it held the auspicious title of being the first album chat that we did on this show that was not a Prince album. It was not a Prince album release. And since then, they held that title for a pretty good long time until we just got done doing Vanity Sixes last week. And so now here we are. Here we are. The Times Ice Cream Castle was the first one. This album is called What Time Is It? And, as I mentioned before, Prince had this penchant for naming bands phrases that you would say all the time, like, what time is it? And the family, and just the time in general. And he loved doing that. And really, the name of this album, What Time Is It? For Prince fans, for everybody, all of us that are in the purple circle, whenever we hear somebody say, what time is it? Don't even act like I know it's not just me. Whenever somebody in the room goes, what time is it? I'm like, of any variety of answers that I could possibly get. Anyways, Prince began work on the album during a break in the controversy. It starts to like Englishman. I just watched, who did I watch? The comedian, the comedian that hosts all the award shows, Ricky Gervais, and he says controversy. Is that how he says it? He doesn't say controversy. He says controversy. And I think ever since he said that, it's kind of caused a mental breakdown. It's like controversy. Anyways, try this again. Prince began work on the album during a break in the Controversy tour, and it was released on this very day right here on August 25th, 1982. That's right. Today is the 38th anniversary of this album, which is why I went this route tonight and decided to do an album chat to help celebrate this momentous occasion. And of course, I reached out to many people trying to get, I actually reached out to Jerome. Jerome was unavailable tonight, so we are going to have Jerome on the show. Just so to be clear, we are going to have Jerome on the show, but he was busy tonight, and so we're working around that, kind of working here, there, everywhere. But luckily, I was able to get the infamous Jelly Bean Johnson to stop in for us, and even that was kind of like, is he going to make it? Is he going to make it? So I didn't want to kind of blow it out, but it was great that he was here. And this is the second full album by the band. Kind of. I mean, you know how this works. It's on this album, it's pretty much just, it was written, produced, and recorded mostly by Prince and of course Morris Day as well. And although the band members of the time are credited, it was pretty much almost Prince, with the exception of, some of the, a lot of input on drums from Morris Day, who, and of course he also did the lead vocals as well. And the album was mostly recorded on this Soundcraft recording board that he then turned around and sold to Jesse Johnson. And Jesse said, Prince sold me his Soundcraft board for $23,000. It's the same board that he used to record 1999, What Time Is It? And Purple Rain. Talk about an iconic board. And he said that he went into the studio during the Purple Rain tour sessions and just the practice sessions that they were having, and he handed Prince the check, and that was the piece that essentially finished off Jesse Johnson's studio. The album only has 6 songs on it, just 6, but half of them are over 7 minutes long. And so that kind of makes up a little bit for the time. And one song, obviously, The Walk, is almost 10 minutes long, which constitutes 25% of the album, since the total time on the album is 32 minutes and 32 and a half minutes or something like that. And like the Vanity 6 album chat that we did last week mentioned, there were also other songs that were supposed to be on this album. So this album could have had a lot more songs than just 6 on it, but Prince went with them. He went with that same leave them wanting more approach and just kind of left it at that. Of those songs that were going to end up on What Time Is It, Bold Generation, which was later changed to New Power Generation, obviously we know, and Colleen, both of those songs, Bold Generation and Colleen, we just received out of the vault on 1999 Super Deluxe. And so we finally got an opportunity to hear those. Those could have ended up here. If you can kind of run Bold Generation through your head, which is, if you don't know, if you haven't heard Bold Generation or you don't have 1999 Super Deluxe, just run the New Power Generation song through your head. We are the New Power Generation. That song would have been on What Time Is It? And I don't think that would have, I think there was a reasoning why. I think it just didn't have quite the same fit. And Prince was singing on, let me go back. There was another 2 songs that were also supposed to be on here. International Lover, which was just released as an outtake recently. And Prince was singing on this version. That was just Prince on piano and vocals and Morris on drums. And at about the 6-minute mark in that version of International Lover, he says, thank you for flying. Yeah, it's thank you for flying Morris International, so it was obvious that it was intended for the time at that point, but he ended up taking it over and putting it on his own album. And it was just another one of those Prince songs that it was so good that he just ended up just taking it back and just leaving it for himself, because ultimately it became one of his most revered slow jams. And I can't, if the time would have done it. If the time would have done it, I firmly believe it would have become one of those songs for them too. That it would have one of most. I kind of like. We know the Donald Trump Black version is becoming iconic for all the wrong reasons, but it's one of those songs that you remember and you wrap your head around, and it is what it is. And the final song that was recorded and considered for this album was the song "Jerk Out." Yep. That song was originally recorded back in December of 1981, and that song would eventually find a place on the Times Pandemonium album in 1990. But it's hard to believe that gem really sat in the vault that long, for sure. Technically, there was supposed to be another album by the time called Corporate World in 1989. And as I just got done talking to Jelly Bean Johnson, there was a song called Old Dog's New Tricks. I've never heard that song, but there was a website somewhere, and I can't remember where it was. It was talking about the discography of the time, and it had this listing in there. It said the Times album, Old Dog's New Tricks. I was like, I've never seen that album. I don't even know what that is. So there is an album that was supposed to be done called Old Dog's New Tricks. According to Jelly Bean, he wasn't aware that he knew that it was going to be something, but he was only familiar with it as a song, and that was the extent of what he knew it. But, you know, everybody here knows Prince. There is a ton of stuff in the vault that he just confirmed from the time. Some of the stuff that you hear every now and then on here, you've heard Corporate World, you've heard a lot of other things on here, but it is what it is. You've heard Bold Generation, that was supposed to be here. Anyways, these same sessions where it's Prince and Morris Day just kind of goofing around, they had these loose times that were during this recording sessions that also brought us Chlorine Bacon Skin, also brought us, what's the one that's on the flip side? Not Grace. We'll talk about Grace. We may actually play Grace a little bit later. I'll think of it. I'll think of it when we get to it. It was on the flip side of something. God, now it's going to drive me crazy. It's all right. But it's also important to remember that at this point in time, which I brought up when we were talking to Jelly Bean, is that Prince felt like he had a lot to prove. Because on March 7th, 1982, he did a controversy tour stop in Minneapolis. I think it was like the last day of the tour. They were home and they were doing a tour. And they did it in a stadium that was supposed to seat 13,500 people, and only about 5,500 people showed up. And that show had the opening acts, Sue Ann Carwell and Enterprise and The Time opening up. So it was a bigger show. It was just, it had 3 opening acts. It had Sue Ann Carwell, Enterprise, and The Time opening up for Prince. And again, only 5,500 people showed up. And there was still a lot of great reviews. All the people that were present from the music magazines, they were still reviewing it very, very positively. They didn't, there was no negative reviews in the mix. However, it just didn't feel it kind of got to him a little bit because they just they weren't getting a lot of traction on the radio. While he was known around the world because he was getting some traction on the radio, there wasn't a lot of it. And I think some of it had to do with the content. Some of it had to do with kind of how the feel of it. He was doing stuff that nobody had ever really heard before. So as a DJ, you kind of like, where does this fit in? How does this work? Because you're playing up against Michael Jackson's and the Luther Vandross's and all this other stuff. Where does this fit in? And so I think that he felt like he had a lot to prove at this point. So the next day, they made an appearance at the next day after that concert, which happened on March 7th. So March 8th, they did a concert at First Avenue. And that's the classic bootleg concert that a lot of you have already heard, where he announces, we ain't got nowhere else to go tonight. This isn't a concert, it's a dance. And if you can dance to this, you're a better man than me. And it's also where they broke out their new song, All the Critics Love You in New York. Really classic bootleg concert for sure. So while he did have some national attention, the local radio stations were just not giving him enough love to kind of put him fully on the radar and in the wide general public. But then What Time Is It happened, and that started putting The Time on the map. And then, of course, Prince's 1999 happened shortly afterwards, and then that ball started rolling, and then he started getting on everybody's radar. And a lot of you, that's when you came on board. This album, What Time Is It, reached number 26 on the US Billboard Pop chart and number 2 on the US Billboard Soul LPs chart. So it did pretty well. So now let's talk about the individual tracks on this album. The first we'll talk about is a song called Wild and Loose, the opening track. Yes, we're going to talk about the songs. We're breaking into it. We're doing it. Guns blazing, folks. You ready? I hope you're ready. You got your dancing shoes on. Go ahead. Lace up those Stacey Adams. Go ahead and tie it. Get those knots. Make sure that those are tied right. You don't want to trip over the shoelaces. Make sure you're good to go, because we're going to start playing these songs too. So I want you to be ready. Gotta be ready. Wild and Loose. First opening track, 7.5 minutes long, right out of the gate. He loved doing that. He was just like, I'm going to get you, and then we're going to get you settled in with the groove, and we're just going to take it from here. Written by Prince as Jamie Starr and Des Dickerson, but credited to The Time. It was produced by Prince as The Star Company, but was credited to Morris Day and The Star Company. It was recorded in January of 1982, primarily, once again, Prince and Morris Day. And Dickerson told the Alt Weekly Nashville Scene, he said, Prince called me on the phone with the song title, and about 15 minutes later, I called him back with lyrics based on the title. So Prince said, here's kind of what I want it to be about, and here's kind of what it sounds like. And so Des decided to write the lyrics for him. Dez's version, though, was, as he said, more G-rated. He kind of kept the content rated G. And he said, Prince altered somewhat of my original version. And the song content is very obvious. It's just about getting together with ladies who don't have any inhibitions while they are out on the road. While the band's out on the road, they're looking to just play and have a good time and party and just kind of find these lovely ladies that are, well, as it says here, wild and loose. Preferably the ladies who are younger. Hanging by the backstage door, decked out like a queen, your body saying 21, but your face says 17. Now, some people cringe nowadays because when you start mentioning teens like this, it kind of makes it, especially in this Me Too movement and everything that's going on nowadays, it doesn't really set well with a lot of folks for sure. But this is nothing new. I mean, you remember Sweet Little 16 by Chuck Berry, the Beatles, I Saw Her Standing There. Yes, the Beatles. I saw her say she was just 17. You know what I mean? This is nothing new. This whole teen thing. She's beautiful. She's young, and she is trouble. It's just a rock and roll thing. But what probably made people maybe a little bit more uncomfortable with like other things like the lyrics. Tell your mama you won't be home because we got plans for you. That's a little bit awkward, a little bit cringeworthy, but the song also deviates into a fun jaunt by placing you, the listener, in kind of the middle of two conversations that are going on at the same time. So, while you've got the song that's kind of playing out like this, where he's talking about this beautiful young girl, at one point in the song, they kind of break out into these two conversations, which at moments, one's easier to hear than the other, but it's kind of the same way in real life. If you happen to be standing in a club and there's two separate conversations that are going on either side of you, on one side you have the band members of the time bragging about their exploits, and they're talking about, what they're going to be doing on the back of the bus tonight and stuff like that. And just boys being boys. And then on the other side, you have a group of girls, which vocally just consist of Prince's girlfriend at the time, Susan Moonsey, and also Kim Upshur, who are doing this kind of little bit of this vocal skit where they're kind of swooning over the band, talking about how pretty Jessie's eyes are. And one of the girls talking about how she talked on the phone with Morris all night prior. And you can only imagine how that played out. But eventually the conversations come together as one, and eventually the girl and Morris get together, and she introduces herself as the girl that was on the phone last night. And of course, Morris shows off his douchiness a little bit and says, well, you sure don't look like you sound. You guys know how the song goes. Let's listen to it, shall we? It's Morris Day on vocals and drums, Prince on background vocals and all other instruments. And then, of course, you got some background vocals by Susan Moonsey and Kim Upshur, like I just mentioned. Jelly Bean Johnson is credited. Thank you, Jelly Bean, for stopping by. Jelly Bean Johnson is credited for drums and percussion, but most likely just background vocals on this only. Terry Lewis is credited for bass guitar and vocals, but again, most likely background vocals. All these other band members from the time are credited for their individual instruments, but are most likely background vocals. Just to continue down the line, Terry Lewis on bass guitar, Jesse Johnson on guitar and vocals, Jimmy Jam on keyboards, and Monty on keyboards as well. The first time this song was ever performed by The Time was November 11th, 1982 at the Soldiers and Sailors Memorial Auditorium in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And then, but by Prince, he played it April 4th, 1998. So a good 16 years later at Paisley Park Studios in Chanhassen. But he mixed it in with the song That'll Work, which is a unreleased song from 2001. And then in 2013, he also mixed it in with the song Days of Wild. It was January 17th, 2013 at the Dakota Jazz Club in Minneapolis. And that version was actually streamed online on Shelby J's SoundCloud page and also Cassandra O'Neill's Facebook page at the same time. So without further ado, let's break into it, shall we? We're going to play the first track off of this amazing album by The Time, their second album. What time is it? If you're just joining us, first off, man, you already missed a heck of a show. We got a surprise guest appearance from Jelly Bean Johnson. We got to sit and cut up with him and kind of talk a little bit about the history of this album and just ask him just questions in general, just hang out for about the better part of a half hour. And now we are starting off with the first song on this album, What Time Is It? That was released 38 years ago to the day. And here it is, Wild and Loose, right here on the Funkatopia radio show and Funked Up. First song, here you go. Get your dance shoes on. You ready? I already warned you should have tied those laces. Here we go. All right, what we got going on here, man? I know I have to kind of keep I have for all you folks that are on the chat, I have to keep that part hidden so I'm not looking at your chat while I'm doing the show because it ends up being distracting and so, but I want to make up for that. I've got 7 minutes to kind of go over what anyways. Mary says 20 minutes ain't 20 minutes when you're chatting with Mr. C. I know, it's just is what it is. You know, it's always funny because we get people on the show that say, you know, Ingrid Chavez was the exact same way. Ingrid Chavez, she says to me, I don't even need to wear these right now. Ingrid Chavez said to me, she said, oh yeah, well, we can only hang out for, it was her manager that said it. She can only hang out for 30 minutes. She came on the show and was on the show for 2.5 hours. It was like, some people just come on and, they realize this isn't like a typical interview. This is, a little bit more informed, and we're going to ask questions that kind of, make them feel at home. And they end up hanging out and just having a good time. It's awesome. Lotus, thank you so much. Yeah, it was a great, cool guest appearance. What we got here? Cammy, thank you for the update. $3,525.17 on the Bootsy Collins Music Cares Challenge, which means I got to come up with 3 new prize packages. I've got to figure that out, man. I don't know. It's just, oh my gosh. What did I miss? What did I miss? Let's see. Troy says, when I hear what time is it, I think of the song Wild and Loose. I believe that's the title of the time. Yes. Every song's like a party. Yeah. Mary says, I'm glad Prince kept international lover for himself. Yeah, I think it probably better fit Prince, because Prince has always kind of done that little tongue-in-cheek type of thing. That was his MO. That was his. We'll talk a little bit about that when we get down to Gigolos Get Lonely Too. We're going to talk a little bit about that. But yeah, I think it more fit his personality. The time was more of kind of like a party band, like we've talked about before. And I think there was just, was. What's up, Andre? Andre's already going in. Tricky Web. Thank you, Tricky. That was the name of the song. Thank you so much, Web. Damn it. Wish I could have remembered that. Let's see. Don says, Sue-Ann hung out with your sister. That's cool. Lenny says he's wearing Kobe's. That's right. You can dance in those. They're a little heavy, but you can dance in them. Mary says she's going to get hurt in her flip-flops. Yeah, just, Mary says the guests are under the Funkatopia influence. Are they? Is that what it is? Let's see. Susie says, I have to catch the show tomorrow. I'm so sad. Oh, Susie, are you leaving? It's okay. We'll get it posted. It'll be good. My taste 16. Yeah, Mary, I hear you. Jerry Lee Lewis married his 13-year-old cousin. That's kind of. Jaden is almost 13. My daughter, I can't even imagine somebody marrying somebody so young. That's just. I know that used to be something that they used to do back in the day, but that's not. No. Just no. Ugh. Too much. Yuck. Yes, that's right. Sterling said that concert from March 7th, 1982 was filmed and was to be included in the still unreleased movie, The Second Coming. But you can find it. You can find it. You can find the audio for it. And I think you can find some of the video for it. If you look on YouTube, if you look smart, you can probably find it. Mary says, I just can't even imagine what it takes for you to gather all this detailed info. It's a lot. It's a lot of books. It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of information, but I've been doing it for long enough where I kind of know where to go to get information. I know who to talk to, and I know what books are probably going to cover the information that I need. And I just kind of go through the process. So, yeah, it's pretty awesome. April says, listening to interviews from people that helped develop Prince and taught him the business and helped him with stage fright Minneapolis didn't play his music, especially the early stuff, till Purple Rain. At one point, they didn't even allow black acts in First Avenue till the filming of Purple Rain. Dang, Jelly Bean maybe could have answered the age-old questions about the barn scene in Purple Rain. Could have asked him. I heard from Jesse Johnson, if you listen to last year's interview that Questlove did on Questlove Supreme, which is on Pandora, on the interview with Jesse Johnson said Prince and Apollonia were actually having sex in the barn during the Purple Rain movie. And he and everybody in the studio was like, what? So Jesse Johnson confirmed that they were actually having sex in the barn. And that's the reason why you only have a very, very small clip, because there wasn't much that wasn't XXX rated about what was going on. Yes. I'm going to talk. Jeffro says, can a brother get some leopard panties from the glove box? Yeah. That's not going to be part of the present, part of the get prize package. Let's see. The higher ups at Warner Brothers realized that this was all P instrumentally on this album. Yeah, that came up a couple of times. People were like, there's only one guy playing. At this point, they were used to it. All right, we got 16 seconds. All right. All right. Here we go. And that was the opening track to What Time Is It? The track Wild and Loose. If you're just tuning in, we are doing the album chat for the Time's second album, What Time Is It? Which is the 38th year since it was released. August. I don't know how. There's got to be. I used to work. I've worked down here in the South. And there's a used car dealership that exists here in the South in Georgia, and the owner would always get on. The owner would always get on the radio station, and he would talk about all the sales that are going on with July. These are all the sales that are going on in July. It's July. It's not July. It's July. It's July. It's not July. And he would tell it, it's July. Are you making a statement or are you talking about a month? But this is August. Anyways, doesn't matter. This album was released 38 years ago, August 25th. August, I'm saying it, 1982. And that brings us to song number 2, which we did a lot of talking about with the surprise guest appearance from Jelly Bean Johnson, who stopped in. And we were talking about the song 777-9311, one of the most insanely difficult drum parts because of how off kilter it is and how it almost works against all the other instruments. It's just such a frustrating song. If you guys get an opportunity to watch the rebroadcast of this show tonight, Jelly Bean talks a lot about this song, and it was, again, great to have him on. Great surprise to have him on. But anyways, 777-9311, written by Prince as Jamie Starr, but credited to Morris Day. The song was written by Prince. It was recorded in about May or June of 1982. And while the recording is mostly just Prince and Morris, Prince did instruct Morris to call out band member names during the solos to kind of make it more authentic and live sounding. The US 7-inch single was backed with a non-album track called Grace, which was a mock interview basically of between Akaki Morris Day and an interviewer named Bridget, who was played by Bridget Harrington, who is actually Prince's accountant's secretary. Is that right? Yeah. Prince's accountant's secretary is who Bridget Harrington was. And she was an interview, and that was kind of, and who Day keeps referring to as Grace. And the 12-inch single was backed with The Walk, where Morris also banters with Vanity and calls her Grace. though it's not known if it was meant, it was the reporter once again. It wasn't really kind of a reporter type of scenario. Anyways, Jesse Johnson wrote 777-9311 was a stock drum beat in Prince's Lin LM1 drum machine. It's a $5,500 drum machine, so you know it wasn't the Times. The beat was programmed into the Lin LM1 by Tower of Power drummer David Garibaldi for Roger Lynn, the creator of the machine. He said, Jesse said, Prince used my $179 Hondo Strat to play the chords on 777, and that's why the guitar sounds so nice and dull, because it was cheap. And those same set of drum samples from Garibaldi would also end up being the drum pattern for the Times Release It on Graffiti Bridge. Not sure if you were aware of that or not, but it's not necessarily the same exact drum pattern, but it's got a lot of similarities, and it's from the same sound set. So there's that. The phone number was actually the home phone number for Dez Dickerson. He said, Prince called me from the studio and told me he was trying to come up with a phone number that rhymed to write a hook around. And he thought of my home phone number. Dez said, he played the groove for me over the phone, and I thought two things. One, this groove is just nasty. And two, I wonder what's going to happen when this comes out. And sure enough, as soon as the record was released, Dickerson and his wife started getting crank calls at all hours of the day and night. Folks asking for Morris and just saying, yes. And so we changed our number within 48 hours. It reached number 2 on the R&B charts, but only 88 on the pop charts, although it's considered a classic. Most times when they break into this song, it is the jam. It was also sampled a lot as well. Tupac sampled it for his song, What's Your Phone Number? Also, people that have sampled it, Common sampled it, Madlibs sampled it, Sir Mix-a-Lot, a bunch of others. And while the drums are indeed a drum machine, the bass absolutely is not. Prince told Bass Player magazine in 1999 that nobody can play that line like I can. He said it's like Hair, which is Graham Central Station's song Hair from 1973, or Lopsy Lou, which is a Stanley Clarke song. He said nobody can play those parts better than Larry and Stanley. And he's saying the same thing about his part on this song, 777-9311. When playing it live, it was a big challenge for the band since it was so unusually structured. Questlove, who is the drummer for The Roots, and if you're watching the video, I'm actually wearing a Roots shirt today. Questlove, drummer for The Roots and much respected Prince superfan, loves to tell the story about how he spent 3 months in 1982 trying to master 777-9311, only to find out it was a machine. He said it's the perfect example of why he calls Prince, bar none, the best drum programmer of all time. And during rehearsal of the song, Prince confronted Jimmy Jam and said, Jimmy, you're doing bass with your left hand. You're not using your right hand. And Jimmy said, there's nothing there. And Prince replied, well, you make a part there. You add something. You got to make it better than the record. No hands can be lazy. You got to play. And so he says, after they devoted a few more rehearsals to the routine, Prince returned to find the group proud of their progress. And some of the band members even said, teach, Prince, check this out. We're jamming. But Prince just frowned and said, okay, who's not singing? Everybody's got to sing a harmony part. Someone noted it had a few harmony parts. So it doesn't matter. Going to get better now than it is on the record. So the band just sighed. But they sang during 3 more rehearsals, and then Prince showed up again and says, okay, where's the choreography? You guys got to be stepping. So Terry Lewis, Morris Day, and Jesse Johnson were stepping and having a great time, Jam recalled, but it still wasn't enough for Prince. Prince came up to Jimmy Jam and said, Jimmy Jam, what about you? Jimmy said, what about me? I'm the keyboard player. Prince said, no, you got to step with them too. Jimmy said, what? I got to play with both hands, sing a note, and be stepping at the same time? Forget it. I can't do that shit. Prince left. He had other details and bands to deal with, but Jam considered his request And after the next few rehearsals, about 4 solid hours of playing at each one, according to Jimmy Jam, Jam said, "Now I can do that shit in my sleep." Jam could play his keyboard part, pull a handkerchief to wipe his face, stow it away, and still perform a dance step. Great story. On this song, Morris Day on vocals, Prince on background vocals and all instruments. And of course, you've got the band. Jelly Bean Johnson on drums, Terry on bass, Jesse on guitar, Jimmy Jam on keyboards, and Monty on keyboards. They're all actually on there. They're credited for their respective instruments and vocals, but they actually did not appear. They were not there. First time this song was ever played by The Time was that same show at Soldiers and Sailors Memorial Auditorium in Chattanooga on November 11th, 1982. And then Prince would actually play it for the first time in June of 1994 at Glam Slam in LA. And it was just the first Prince performance, and it was just a clip only. The first full performance was actually January of 1998 in Townsend, which is in Oakland, California. That was the first full performance by Prince of this song. And then, of course, the last time Prince would play it is actually during a Prince Piano and a Microphone tour, when for some reason he broke it out in the March 2016 show at the Great American Music Hall in San Francisco, which was actually kind of during a sampler set. So it wasn't really, a full thing. But here you go. The second song on this album that clocks in just under 8 minutes. It's 777-9311 right here on the Funkatopia Radio Show and Funked Up. Jelly Bean, this one's for you, brother. All right, let me get back to you fine folks over here. What all did I miss? Where did I leave off? All right, we left off with Jeffro talking about wanting to get some leopard panties out of a glove box. Said that's a prize. Jeffro, that may be a prize, but it really depends on who those belong to first. So that's the first thing. Cammie said she's not dancing. She's got a bad back, and the hubby is heading to bed, so no dancing. Let's see here. Lotus said, got to attend the original Seven's release event at the Grammy Museum, and he said it's a crying shame that reunion didn't work out. Yeah, I agree. I actually had a friend of mine who, Anitra, who actually you may have seen pictures of on Facebook. Anitra and I were at Prince's final show in Atlanta. She was my plus one at that show. We were sitting up in the balcony, and she actually got an opportunity to see The Time when they came to Atlanta for the very, very few amount of shows that they did as that project. I was just Princess Tiana says, LOL, sex in the barn. Yep. Sterling said it was a scene that was going to get Purple Rain an NC-17 rating. Yeah, that's the reason why they kind of reduced it to a really small clip. I was just kind of, here it is, and let's go away. As far as Mary says, did Morris share the story of the original Seven in his book? I don't recall that he did. Hold on. Let's look it up and see, because I actually have Morris's book inside of my iPad. So let's see if we can. Why isn't my thing fixing itself here? Let's see if we can figure out if Morris brought up. I don't recall him bringing up the original Seven as far as the reasoning for the name change and the reasoning for why they didn't tour. I don't remember that at all. So that's the book. I got it on Kindle. I like Kindle. I like reading books on Kindle unless I'm going to get an autographed copy from the author, because if I need to find something, I don't have to flip through pages or rely on whether or not the appendix or anything is actually correct. I can just search all of the text for any of this stuff. So let's see. Let's search. Original 7. He mentions it a few times, all on page 189. Says, all right. He says they wanted to release an album because it had been 16 years, or it had been a long time since they had released Pandemonium. He said when Prince heard the news, he popped out of nowhere and made it clear that the record couldn't carry the name The Time. Turned out, after 31 years, he was reminding everyone that he still owned the name. Yet I'd been touring for decades as Morris Day and The Time, and all that while without a peep from Prince. That was different, Prince's people said. My proper name was in the billing. Because on the new record, we wanted to go back to the original name, just The Time, Prince wouldn't have it. And good luck trying to reach him. Good luck trying to have even a 2-minute phone call. Jimmy couldn't get through, neither could Terry, me either. Prince being Prince was off the grid. So not wanting to incur the wrath of his Rottweiler lawyers, we said, F it. F The Time. We'd call ourselves the Original 7 because that's who we were. Jimmy, Terry, Jesse, Jellybean, Jerome, Monty, and me. So there's the reasoning, and we always knew that. We always knew it was an issue with the name of the band, but we also knew that as part of why it kind of broke up was primarily because of Jesse's breaking up with the band, because Jesse was frustrated that while they were kind of getting some of this movement and kind of getting a little bit of traction as the Original 7, they weren't touring quick enough. They weren't booking any shows, and they weren't striking while the iron was hot. So therefore, Jesse decided he was just going to step out. Jesse just decided, you guys aren't taking this seriously, so I'm out. And so he left. And of course, at that point, now it's no longer the Original 7. Now it's the Original 6, or whatever it is that you're going to call yourself at this point. Because unless you have all 7 members in, then it's all 7 members. So Jesse Johnson decided that he was going to go and tour with D'Angelo, and he played as an active part of D'Angelo's band, and that was the extent of it. And then, of course, he also did some other things, too. He also worked with Questlove when Questlove put together the Super Jam that had D'Angelo on piano and vocals, and they had Jesse Johnson on guitar, and he had, like, all these amazing artists. So there was and Palladino and all those guys. So there was just a lot going on with Jesse. He was ready to tour, and he was ready to do a lot of things, and so he broke off. And when he broke off, and it wasn't the Original 7 anymore, so that kind of screwed any opportunity for them to kind of be able to tour as the Original 7. And I don't know what the reasoning was for them not getting this moving quick enough, but those are the two reasons why those things kind of fell apart. But there it is. Let's see. Mary says, is your wife a Prince fan? Not really. She knows a lot of Prince stuff. She knows all the stuff that's on the radio, of course, but she's not like me. There's not many folks that are like me. Yeah. And Mary says, do they go by The Time now that P is gone? No, they don't. Now they've gone back to they just don't want to deal with Prince's lawyers. And even now that he's no longer with us, that part of it is still written in contract. It's still written on paper. So that's not changing. It's now they went back to the Morris Day and The Time scenario. So that's kind of where it's at. Jesse's not trying to cause trouble. He's He's just trying to go out and trying to make some money as an artist. That's how he makes his money. Is touring. And you make money as an artist and a musician. You make money touring and playing. All right. Here we go. 13 seconds. Next song. All right, let's go at it. And there it was, 777-9311, one of the most difficult drum parts to learn. Now Jellybean can do it in his sleep. Again, if you're just joining us, you missed it. Jellybean Johnson came on for a good half hour or so and did a little bit of a surprise appearance on the 38th anniversary of The Time's What Time Is It? That was released today, August 25th, 1982. man, what a great friggin' album, and what a great interview. And it actually was an impromptu interview. I had no questions ready. Jelly Bean just kind of popped in and it was like, oh, here's Jelly Bean Johnson. So we got an opportunity to hang out with him and ask him a bunch of questions. And it's great. If you missed it, please make sure that you look for the recording because it was a lot of fun. We had a good time. Which brings us to the next song. We are doing an album chat for this iconic album that it was released 38 years ago today, which takes us to song number 3, which is One Day I'm Gonna Be Somebody. Written by Prince as Jamie Starr, but credited to the time. It is the B-side of The Walk, which is actually the next song on the album here after this. It was produced by Prince as The Star Company, but was credited to Morris Day and The Star Company. Basic tracking of the song was May, June 1982. It's a more upbeat song that is upbeat in a pop new wave kind of way, even though right here in the song, right in the song, it's not in the middle. It's kind of more towards the end. The needle scratches to a halt and the band yells, "We don't like new wave." And a lot of people think it just refers to music, but apparently that is a slight to his friend and former bass player Andre Simone, who had just released his debut album called Living in the New Wave. So them saying we don't like new wave and doing all this laughing was kind of a little bit of a poke at Andre Simone and his album, which is kind of nasty, but that's okay. You know, it's a bunch of guys that have known each other all their childhood. And so it's just an opportunity to kind of rib one another. And while we would probably be upset if a fellow musician did that to us on recording, it is what it is. You know, you don't know these guys' lives. They were just childhood friends and it is. Anyways, people said the voices on the album are very Morris, obviously Prince and Jesse, but Jesse made it very clear as far as that part that says, we don't like new wave. And people were like, oh, that's Morris, that's Prince, that's Jesse. But Jesse, again, he made it very, very clear that he was not part of that at all. When he was on Questlove's show in 2018, he said, that ain't me on there. That's all Prince's voice that I know. But I got to go box with MFers now, and I ain't got shit to do with that record. So Jesse made it very, very clear. I don't have anything to do with that. I don't, you know, maybe he was saying, I don't have any problem with Andre's album. I wouldn't have done that. He was just making it very, very clear. He was not part of that at all. Although there's a lot of different types of laughing going on there. I don't know. It's important to remember that Prince was beginning to get concerned about the time here as well. He flat out said they were, to be perfectly honest, the only band that I was afraid of. And they were turning into like Godzilla. That's a quote. He was saying the time was turning into like Godzilla. It was also one of the reasons why he was as hard as he was with them, because you have to remember that if there truly was fear, okay, let me just say this. If you compare bands at that time, let's talk about the time. You got Morris Day, Jimmy Jam, Jesse Johnson, Monty Moore, and Jelly Bean Johnson. That is a band. You're playing primarily to black audiences at this time. That's the band. That is the collective. That's a show right there. That's like, what is happening? These guys are hip, they're tight, and they're tight because Prince was drilling them like hardcore, making them step and making them feel all types of stuff, and they were getting worked in. And these were like 30-minute sets, and you're talking about 30-minute sets that contained all their stuff. They would do the stick, they would do the walk, they would do 777 9311, they would do cool, they would do all of these songs just bang, 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 one after the other for 30 minutes. And so by the time that Prince got on stage, the audience at this point was worn out. I mean, the time wore his butt out. And that was just the reality of it.
and they had the look, and they were in their suits, and they were looking dapper, and they were just looking styling and profiling, and the ladies were swooning, and the guys wanted to be them. I mean, you heard when we were interviewing Jelly Bean Johnson, there was people in the chat room that going, man, I was wearing Stacey Adams. I even owned a pair of Stacey Adams because those guys. I had a pink suit because of Jesse Johnson, but that was later on. But and then on Prince's side, he has these amazing players, but they didn't necessarily have that street cred looking band thing going on. You had Bobby Z, you had Lisa, you had Dez, Brown Mark. It was just a different type of band live and on the road. I mean, sound wise, they were phenomenal and they were just good. And Prince really didn't like to be upstaged a whole bunch. So there wasn't like a whole bunch of things going on stage. They would do, Fink would have his quirky move. I mean, there was some things going on, but it wasn't like cohesive. And he intentionally wanted it like that. Prince set up this band to kind of represent a little bit like what Sly and the Family Stone was doing, where, you had white guys and you had black guys and you had girls and you had this and you had that. And that's what Prince was trying to do. He was trying to cater to a wider audience. But until that all worked out, until that actually got to a point where it was, more fluid, the time seemed to have the total package. And most people did not know at the time that this was all of Prince's material that they were performing. I mean, this was just another band that was at the helm playing all of Prince's music, but people weren't aware of that. They were just aware that there was this other band that was kicking his ass every single night. That's what was going on. And that's where he kind of felt like he was getting upstage. And again, there were all great players, but there wasn't much hard going on. And that's the only way I personally think that he could really feel like he was being beaten, was the cohesiveness of their look and their sound and everything just kind of making this one perfect package. And, on this album, it's pretty much Prince playing everything. So it was strange that he let it get to his head so much. But there was a studio tech named Don Batts, who was a tech, again, with Prince. And he recalled Prince showing up to one of the Times rehearsals with a rough mix of this finished record. And he said, and Don says, he threw the cassette at Jesse Johnson and said, "Hey man, you play really good on your album." Basically, he was insinuating, hey, this sounds great, mainly because it's me playing on everything. And he says, it was like saying, "Hey puppets." So there was kind of like this really weird, he was creating their next, he created this monster, and now he's creating another album that's even bigger and more powerful than the one before it. And he's just letting it get to him. Anyways, he knew he was being unnecessarily hard on them. He knew that. He even said, "My way is usually the best way. I strive for perfection, and sometimes I'm a little bullheaded in my ways." So he knew he was pushing them really hard, but every time they would rise to the occasion, and that would just end up pushing his buttons even more. But it was his creation, and they just managed to keep up with him and only made his game get better over time. And Jelly Bean Johnson even said, not tonight, he said before during an interview, he said he made music and he told us what to play, and we came in and we played a lot of times better than what he had. And in concert, it went over better than what it did on record. And after a while, he resented that shit. He resented it. So anyway, so back to the song. This is Morris taking on the character role of a young kid who dreams of success, which he actually wasn't too far removed from, because you got to remember, he played in the band Champagne that ended up getting dissolved. And then he just threw in the towel and went to Maryland. And then he went to work for a car rental place in Maryland. And while he was working there in Maryland at this car rental place, he happened to hear Prince playing on the radio behind him. And he was like, "Hey, that's my friend. I know that guy." And of course, the people that are checking in to rent a car, they were like, "Yeah, sure you do. Sure you do." Yeah, you know him. And so he just quit right there on the spot, jumped over the counter, got into a car, and went back to Minneapolis to get back with his friend. It is also surprising that there is a lot of good messages in here for a time song. Talks about hard work. If getting to the top means washing a car, I'd be scrubbing with a smile on my face. And also, if I should die before I'm rich, I pray the Lord my soul to keep. But if I'm rich before I die, I want to work because nothing comes cheap. All that being said, it's the shortest song on the album, and like notably shorter. Clocking in, I mean, what was the first song? The first song was like 7.5 minutes long, and the second song was almost 8 minutes long. This is the third song, and it clocks in like under 2:30. It's Morris Day on vocals and Prince on background vocals and all instruments. And of course, you got all the time that is credited for their respective instruments, but they were not here. Jelly Bean on drums, Terry on bass, Jesse on guitar, Jimmy on keyboards, Monty on keyboards. It's never believed to have been performed live, but John Blackwell regularly triggered the sample from this song, ending of the chant, "We don't like new wave," during his drum solo that he did on Take Me With You during the Musicology Live 2000 Forever tour. So there's that. You guys ready? Here it is, the shortest song on the album, One Day I'm Going to Be Somebody, right here on the Funkatopia radio show. You're listening to the album chat for the Time's second album. What time is it? Here you go. Oh man, I'm not going to have like a whole bunch of time to talk about some of this stuff. Lenny says the Time was a better band than the Revolution. They were Godzilla. Yes, they were. Yeah, they were. Yeah, it's a real. Yep. Mary says, what does credited mean? Credited means that they get credit for doing it on the album, but they weren't really a part of it at all. So they wanted, it was also kind of a way to kind of help the band kind of make money and get paid, because if you're credited on the album, that you have what's called points on an album. So if an album starts to sell a little bit real well, you actually get a cut. So this is kind of Prince's way to make, to kind of help them out with a little bit of money and revenue to kind of keep things going. And obviously kind of keep the peace, because they weren't making money on tour for sure. So this was kind of his way. He obviously got him and Morris obviously got a much bigger cut than the Time did, but they actually did have points on this album. So any single time that somebody goes out to buy this album, they get a little cut of something. I don't know how all that stuff technically works out on, on the credited versus the people who are actually on it, but it is what it is. Yes, all over. Jill says, and then came NPG. Yep, that's correct. Yeah, and as far as we're talking about, we got 40 seconds here. And as far as we're talking about with the Time, they had a 30-minute window. Imagine if Prince played a 30-minute show, even at that point in his career. Do you realize the songs that he could take and wedge into a 30-minute show, and how he would just wear a crowd out in 30 minutes? There's 30-minute concerts. There's 30-minute concerts that are on of Prince's that are exhausting because they are just so refined. That's kind of what this was. All right, here we go. Yeah, one of those definitely sounds like Morris, the ha 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 ha, but that's very Prince going ah ha 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 ha. Very much sounds like Prince. That is definitely Prince's voice for sure. Which brings us to the next song on this album, The Walk. We're doing the album chat for the Time's second album, What Time Is It? Released 38 years ago to the day, August 25th, 1982. And we're going by these. We're talking about each one of these individual songs, and it's a lot of fun. It really is. I always love doing this. I got a little bit of surprise for you guys here too. Before I play The Walk, we'll get to that in a minute. The Walk is written by Prince as Jamie Starr, but credited to the Time. and produced by Prince as The Star Company, but was credited to Morris Day and The Star Company. And it's Morris Day on drums here, recorded in January of 1982, but there was a 2-inch vault tape with this song on it that says July 1st, 1981. So it kind of says that maybe it was recorded a little bit earlier than what it was. Maybe Prince kind of laid the groundwork for it, then they kind of rehashed it. I don't know. The song's spoken section introduces the idea of Morris Day referring to the interviewer, whose name is Bridget, as Grace, regardless of her actual name. An idea also used on the song Grace, which we've talked about already. Grace is actually a really good spinoff. Here is the surprise. I'm going to play Grace. It's only 2.5 minutes long, but let's play it. Grace right here on Funkatopia Radio Show. It's a track you don't get to hear much of. Here it is, a B-side. Just for you. Yet another surprise. Here you go. Here you go. Here you go, Joe. Enjoy.
Hi, I'm Bridget Harrington, and I'm here to interview Morris Day, lead singer of the team. Mr. Day, how are you?
Need you ask?
I take it that you're fine.
Yes, I've been told that.
Okay. Tell me, are you really so cool?
Is money green?
When did you first notice your coolness?
I didn't. The doctor did. You see, most people are born in birthdays. I was born in Zeus.
Gotcha. Okay.
Baby, I ain't got time to joke. What time is it anyway?
It's time for us to continue this interview. How does the time go about generating such a funky sound?
I know you didn't say funk.
Well,
Let me just say one thing. Funk is dead. Funk is something you need to learn in school. And ain't nothing funky about being cool. Grace.
okay. But my name is Bridget.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It seems your image has a lot to do with your approach to music.
My clothes. No, let me just say something to all the fellas out there. Take off them jeans and the new wave clothes and go get you some baggies. It's about the freedom, right? In other words, stay at the hotel with the biggest phone. Don't get me wrong, some of my best friends wear blue jeans. I'm just not in the scene with them.
Grace was not Vanity in this one.
Why are you so concerned about
In this recording, Grace is Prince's accountant's secretary.
I don't think I like you at all. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we close this interview?
Yes. What's your phone number?
777.
You can smell that candle through this. So can I. It's kind of like Pulp Fiction. I need to know what a $5 milkshake tastes like. That's what that candle, I was like, I got to know what a $50 candle smells like. That's exactly what it was. Yes, in this song, Grace was Bridget, who was Prince's accountant's secretary. And that was the song Grace, which was a B-side that obviously went to the music of 777-9311, which was played by Bridget. She pronounces her name. I say Bridget, but she pronounces her name Bridget, which was Prince's accountant's secretary. So his accountant had a secretary. She said, "Hey, what are you doing? Come record this song with me. Read the script. Pretend like you can act." Okay, now back to the walk. This track actually clocks in at 9.5 minutes. It is very much in the vein of the First Time album, in the feel and vibe of the Stick and Get It Up. And Morris Day remembered that when Prince was giving him instruction for this onstage persona, that he should just put his hand in his pocket and be cool. Of note, every verse starts with the word attention. And many people like to point out his suggestion to his fellow men about the convenience of wearing baggies for easy access, baby. All of which kind of comes across a little bit tad, I don't know, misogynistic. I don't know what the word is. But it made us all laugh anyways. We all still thought it was funny. The Italian waiter that you hear at the end of the song is voiced by Prince. And if you watch the video for this song, which is an edited down version of the song, there is a line in the song that says, "And honey, you know you can't dance with them tight jeans on." A lot of people said that's Prince. It sounds a lot like Prince. It doesn't sound like Morris. And I think in the video they have Terry Lewis mouthing that line, but it's not convincing at all, and it's not him either. Everybody seems to believe it's Prince. Most likely, it probably is Prince. Also making her first appearance on an album with Prince on this album here is Denise Matthews, aka Vanity, and she's actually on this recording. She does a skit with Morris where she's kind of being convinced by Morris to slip into some lingerie that he just so happens to have in his glove compartment for whatever reason. Not only does he happen to have lingerie in his glove compartment, but then additionally, what's interesting is that it fits her, which makes it even weirder. So I'm just curious, how many people actually have a pair of gloves in their glove compartment box? Does anybody actually have? I mean, I don't even know why they even still call it that. I mean, is it really an entire compartment that was designed into a car specifically for driving gloves? And was it necessary to design an entire box for it? And I guess it's more sellable than lingerie box, I guess. And also, could they put that glove box in a more inconvenient place for the driver? If it's for the driving gloves, let's put it on the other side of the car so the driver has to lean over and reach to get. Anyways, another stupid rabbit hole. Anyway, one thing I know for sure is that it's not a lingerie box, although I'd rather have one of those than a glove box for sure. It's Morris Day on vocals and drums, Prince on background vocals and all instruments. And then, of course, there's Vanity doing some of the spoken vocals. And, of course, you have the whole entire band that is actually credited for a variety of different things, all of their respective instruments, like I've rambled off before: Jelly Bean on drums, Terry on bass, Jesse on guitar, Jimmy Jam on keyboards, Monty on keyboards. And then, of course, they also credit Brenda Bennett for spoken vocals and Susan Moonsey for spoken vocals, credited as Vanity 6, but they were not there. They didn't even appear on it. First time this song was performed was November 11th, 1982, once again at that Soldiers and Sailors Memorial Auditorium in Chattanooga. And this song is not ever known to have been performed by Prince, except for some short interpolations in 1995, in October of 1995 at Paisley Park, and also in October of 2002 in Paris, France. Here it is, the song, the longest song on the album, I believe, The Walk. Is it the longest song on the album? Yep, it's the longest song on the album. Here it is, The Walk, on the Funkatopia Radio Show and Funked Up. Enjoy. You want to wave and say hello? Cammie's here. I think Cammie's here. She might want to say hello. Yeah, for those of you who may have ordered slime, one of the two Georgia girls is here. Just lean in and say hello. Just lean in and wave. There she is. One of the two Georgia girls right there. She just came in to say goodnight. Yes. You want to get your slime. I think they're almost sold out of like a lot of things, and they're going to make like a whole different batch, but they got like 6 new versions of slime that are going to be coming out. So keep an eye on your email. If you've ordered slime before, keep an eye on your email. We will be sending you I'll be sending you a coupon for 20% off of your next purchase of slime if you've ordered slime already. So Danielle says she got her order today. Yes. It's awesome. That slime is incredible. This one now, we're incorporating some really hardcore hemp seed oil into the slime. It's really relaxing. If you're having problems sleeping or any of that, it is an incredible therapeutic. It just kind of sets your mind and puts you in a Zen spot. And on top of that, it's got hemp seed oil and everything in it. It's amazing. TwoGeorgiaGirls.com, TWO GeorgiaGirls.com. I think you can also do slimeforadults.com, but it's therapeutic slime, and they've got like slimes for all kinds of individual things that you can do. What? Who else got it today? Oh, yes. She also sent some out as a birthday gift, and she got some slime as well. Cool. Well, good night. Thanks for hanging out for a minute. If there's any dogs in here, they got to go. Okay, good. All right. What did I miss? Love you, babe. All right. Maisha says, yes, driving gloves are really important. No power steering and unpaved roads. There you go, Maisha. See, you take thinking to the next level. See, I didn't even think about the power steering component to it. I didn't even think about that at all. It also seems like you need to have some muscles. That's also the most important part too. Because in order to actually steer, you're like, if anybody who here has driven a car without power steering, it's not freaking easy, especially when you're coming from like a stop, because you get to start and you got to turn the wheel. Oh my gosh, what a mess, dude. Oh gosh. Rolo loves his freedom, says April. Sterling says, we were led to believe that Bridget was vanity. Nope, not true. It was Prince's accountant secretary. There you go. Maisha, I just can't get over you. That is like, you deserve a display. That's Maisha's comment. I'm going to stop this scroll because that's annoying me now. Yes, driving gloves were very important. No power steering and unpaved roads. See, you could watch the History Channel all day and nobody would tell you about the importance of driving gloves. How many shows about cars would you have to watch to get that piece of information right there? A lot. Because I've probably seen hundreds of shows about cars, never once thought about the fact that there was no power steering and unpaved roads. See? Driving gloves were important, but were they more important than lingerie? That's the true question. Was it more important than lingerie? I think the guys here would say it's more important to have lingerie in your glove box. Actually, if you're married, it's probably not a good idea. But where are we? Where are we going? We're in Mary, sweet mother Jesus. Mike said that first car had no power steering. Lenny said the ladies love the lingerie. But Lenny, did they love the lingerie as you pulled it out of your glove box? When you were going on a date and you opened up your glove box and go, yeah, baby, try this on. Does that work? I don't think it works. I don't think that works. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Lotus says on the app, oh man, I gotta see this. Where's my phone? I know it's here. I know it's here because I did a shout out for, where the heck is my phone? I know it's here because I did a shout out for Nick while Jellybean was on. How is my phone? Oh, no. Did I move from here? I don't remember moving from here. What the heck is going on here? I didn't move from the spot. Where the hell is my phone? How many old people out there we got that this happens to all the time? You didn't move from a spot and she just walks off. Oh, here it is. Damn it. And there's somebody that kept calling me when Jellybean Johnson was on. somebody kept calling me, and I don't know who it was. Maybe it was one of you guys. I don't know. There was somebody calling me from a 404 number. If you're in Atlanta, you got a 404 area code, and you tried to call me twice, I don't know who you are. I don't have your number programmed, and I'm not. Yeah, Maisha. So I want to talk to Cirrus about that because I would like to see some other ads on our app other than missing children apps. I realize that most people don't even. Oh shit! That's what I meant to look at. I realize that most people don't. She's right. It's got the walk the line. Walk the Line is the album cover for the Walk by the Time. All the information is correct. I don't know what the heck is going on. Let me see this. I wonder if I change this. What the heck is happening? What I wonder if that will make a difference. Sweet Mother Jesus. I think you'd be more. These lines are horrible. I think you'd be more comfortable in this. I'm sure I would. I'm going to try on this lingerie right now, right here in your car. I'm going to get butt naked and I'm going to try on this lingerie because I'm sure I would be more comfortable. I think you're right, Morris. I think I would be more comfortable. And I realize that this lingerie is probably really good for me because the fact that none of your girls wear whatever it is they wear. Oh my God. Oh. Oh my God. Now, let me see if this fixed it. I'm going to shut the app off and turn it back on. Let me see if that fixed it. If it pulls up the right thing. No, it still shows Walk the Line. I think it's trapped. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah. Yeah. I have no problem wearing another woman's lingerie. I don't know why you have it in your glove box, but I'm sure I'd be more comfortable, Morris. Give me a break. And that was the walk with the most ridiculous conversation that hashtag never happened. I'm sure I would be more comfortable in this lingerie that you happen to have in your glove box, Morris. I sure do appreciate you breaking out this lingerie. Man, I spent a half hour wedging myself in these blue jeans, but you're right. I think I would rather take these clothes off in my car and try on these random lingerie that you happen to have in your skank glove box that I'm sure are very clean and pristine. And I'm going to put them on because my comfort is important. Give me a break. Oh my God. Anyways, that's kind of funny. It's just funny to me. Maybe it's funny to other people too. I don't know. It's funny to me. Okay, let's go on to the next song. What is the next song? Oh, of course. The next song is the great and amazing Gigolos Get Lonely Too. There's only 2 more songs in this album. Unbelievable. Only 2 more songs. Okay, let's get to it. Gigolos Get Lonely Too, written by Prince as Jamie Starr, but credited to Morris Day. And Jesse Johnson cleared it up on his Facebook page that he played guitar on this song. Okay. He's actually credited on this, and it's not credited but did not appear. It's actually just flat out credited. But when you are sitting amongst a sea of credited but did not appears, you know, some people may take your appearance seriously and some people probably don't. Yeah, he's credited, but did he really appear? Anyways, it was recorded in July of 1982, so pretty close to the album's actual release, which is actually less than 2 months later. The song also appeared on his posthumous Originals album, but that's about as far as it goes for performances. Surprisingly, this song has never been performed live, which is crazy to me. This was the first song completed for this album. So out of all the songs that you have on this album, this one's the first. If Jerk Out would have been on there, it didn't end up there. It ended up being put back into the vault and then eventually ended up on Pandemonium in 1990. But this is the first song that actually was placed on this album. And it definitely was designed to be a Morris song, since it had that kind of pimp slant to it that Prince always seemed to like from the angle of. Many say that the song was inspired by the Richard Gere movie, An American Gigolo, which came out a couple years earlier than this song. And also, that's the same movie that kind of put Giorgio Armani on the map as well. But it follows, the movie follows a gigolo who essentially, for lack of a better storyline, eventually meets his match. And then you begin to see a human side to this character, which most likely sparked Prince's writing of this song. Don't know that to be fact, but a couple of band members from the time had mentioned it in passing in an interview. That's probably where it came from, but nobody really kind of knows for sure. And, he loved to get inspirations from movies. Prince was a huge movie buff. He loved Chocolat. He was always seemed to be inspired by movies, just a lot. Like, I did not know this until the final concert in 2016 in Atlanta, when he talked about Barbra Streisand in the movie The Way We Were, when he was talking about how the couple was fighting and she ends up running back to him, even though he was the one who hurt her, because he was the only friend that she had, which prompted Prince to write the lyrics in the song If I Was Your Girlfriend to Would You Run to Me If Somebody Hurt You, even if that somebody was me. I was not aware that's where he got that inspiration from, but he revealed that in the 2016 concert, his final show. He revealed that's kind of where it came from. And he revealed that also about, well, he didn't reveal it. When in the Symbol album, when he talks about the tone box and, the Kirstie Alley character interview was tone box, like the movie Barbarella. And he goes, yes. So you got the tone box thing. And then of course he talks about Johnny Depp's movie Chocolat on the big screen during a romantic evening in that song, Mr. Goodnight. So he was always looking for inspiration in film. And then he would kind of expand on a vision. He would take a component of it and then he would rewrite lyrics around it. Kind of like if something struck him, a specific line or a specific scene that really had an impact on him, he would take that and then he would just kind of blow it up and just make it a little bit more. He would just go into more detail. He kind of felt like that's a really cool turning point or some type of chrysalis moment in the movie that just stood out to him. And he felt like, I think that there needs to be something written a lot more just about that part. And that's what he would do. And in Morris Day's book, he referred to the song as the key song on this album. Morris said, this gave me a chance to go deep. In the old days, they might have called it a blues ballad because the cat singing the song has a case of the sure enough blues. The lyrics are sad, and while the groove is anything but sad. He said, the groove is intoxicating, and like I'm still saying that at my shows. If you can't feel it, brother, you can't feel nothing. Also, when performing the song live, Jerome Benton would pick a lady up out of the crowd for Morris to sit with on stage and have a glass of champagne with him. And of course, Jerome's first selection would always fall flat, and Jerome would put her back out into the audience and everybody would get a big laugh. Ha ha, you thought you were the one and now you're not. And now they pick out another girl. And then of course, so he would pick somebody else out. And then of course, there was just all this banter that would go back and forth between Morris and this girl, the second girl that he picked out, and sit at the table drinking champagne, and Jerome would play the part of the waiter, and it just kind of all plays out. And that was actually a skit that they would do for every single one of their shows all the way up through the 90s. I've seen Morris Day in the Time. Okay, let me clarify. I saw Morris Day in the Time as the original Time on my very, very first concert when I saw Morris Day in the Time on that Triple Threat tour. The 1999 tour was the first tour that I ever saw. Came in on the tail end of the Vanity 6 part, got to see the Time, and then of course got to see Prince. And that was the first concert I ever been to, but I wasn't fully familiar with all the music. And so I really didn't I really couldn't appreciate it and dance and kind of sing along and do what I normally do. So I was just kind of taking it in. And I didn't even know who all the band members were. I didn't know any of the names of any of the band members at that time because I was just a young teenager and I just didn't know the band. So I did get an opportunity to see the original band play, but I didn't know who they were. So it didn't really amount to much. It just didn't amount to anything. I wish that I would have known what I know now back then, because then I certainly could have appreciated it a lot more. Obviously, rear view is a bitch. Anyways, there's that. Outside of that, I've seen Morris Day and the Time probably 5 times, 6 times, probably, as Morris Day and the Time. And of course, it was always Tori Ruffin that was playing in Jesse Johnson's spot. And then, the other band members would just kind of either be there or not be there. So I never got to see the full original Time as it used to be, other than that first time, which doesn't count because I didn't know who they were. So much sucks. They were good, but I wish I would have been able to appreciate it more. Anyways, that skit that they would do with the woman and the champagne and all that stuff, that skit that they would do ended up being a skit that they would do for every single one of the shows that I saw, minus one show. There was one show where that didn't happen, and that was the last time that I saw Morris Day and the Time, which was after Prince had passed, and they came and performed they did a show with was a whole bunch of bands that were playing, but it was like a festival that they did in Chattanooga. And the way Chattanooga is set up is horrible. They've got this venue in Chattanooga where the stage is like, no joke, like 100 feet up. So front row is the worst place to be because you're just looking directly up 100 feet. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that. It's all right. Maybe it's not 100 feet. Maybe it's like 70 feet or something like that. But it's a horrible place to see a band. So they obviously were not set up to be able to accommodate that skit at that time. But that skit happened in every single one of their shows. Let me know if anybody here has seen the time where they did not do that skit. That skit's always been there. Anyways, Prince loved the love songs, and he loved the love songs that had the humorous bite to them, like this one, and songs like Adore, well, maybe Not the Ride. And of course, this one here, when you're supposed to kind of feel bad for a man who has the curse of sleeping around with a bunch of beautiful women, but it's all meaningless. It's just totally meaningless because it doesn't fill the void in his soul for love and company of that special somebody. Oh, so sad for him. You need Jesus. Anyway, this Morris Day on vocals and drums, Prince on all instruments, and Jesse Johnson on guitar. Not credited for guitar, Jesse Johnson on guitar. And then, of course, the Time gets their placement on the respective instruments. Jelly Bean on drums, Terry on bass, Jimmy on keyboards, Monty on keyboards, but they weren't actually there. They did not appear. Here it is, the next to the last song on this album, Gigolos Get Lonely Too. I am so sorry for these rabbit holes. That's what happens at this time of night. It just is what it is. I hope you guys share similar experiences because it's awesome. Here it is, Gigolos Get Lonely Too, on the album chat for the Times. What time is it? That celebrates its 38th anniversary tonight. August 25th, 1982 is when this album first came out. And maybe that's the date when you first heard this song right here on the Funkatopia radio show and Funkatopia Live. Mary says, what's the coupon code for the slime? Yeah, I'm going to be sending out that email. I'll be sending that out to you via email. I'll send it out. Ouch. I got to make sure that it's properly set up in the system, but look at your email. I'll make sure that you get it. Deborah said 2017 Oklahoma. They didn't do the skit. Yeah, that was it. I don't think they stopped that skit after Prince passed. I don't know. I'm sure the two don't have anything to do with each other, but I too saw that same tour. I think it was 2017. It was right after Prince's passing, and it was the time, and they were opening up for Cameo, or was Cameo opening up for the time? It was Cameo in the time in Chattanooga, and this skit didn't happen there either. Sterling says Jesse was later credited on Prince's originals. Really? I didn't know that. Originals is not something I have. I did not get originals. So I didn't get that one. So I don't know. It was a Jigglettes Get Lonely. Gonna hit him up with the female remix. Like the most beautiful boy in the world, like that kind of remix. All right, let me see if I can hook you up, Mary. Hold on. Let me see if I can set up that coupon code for you, Mary, and I'll get you taken care of. Hold on a second. All right. Sorry, I'm doing this. I know you guys listen to the music, so I can do this real quick. Sorry. This should work. Let me try it out real quick. All right, let's do this. Let me see if it works. Yep, it worked. All right, I got your coupon code. Hold on. All right, well, I'm just going to put the code out here. If you ordered slime before, you can use this code. Here's the code. That is the code, Mary. That is the code. 2020 TGG. That's the code. Oh, shit. Song's over. And that was Gigolos Get Lonely Too. Do you feel sad? Do you feel like he deserves your loving and attention, even though he's sleeping around with women and getting paid for it? But he kind of feels really bad because there's a void in his heart that's just not being filled. He's lonely. Gigolos get lonely too. And April says Gigolettes get lonely also. She's going to do a female remix. So she's letting the world know that, hey, just because we get busy and we get paid to get busy doesn't mean that we're satisfied. It just means, I don't know what it means. Anyways. Let's go on. Here it is. It is a, the last song on the album, chat. Oh no, this is horrible. We finally reached the end, but man, what a great friggin' night. We had an amazing night. got Jelly Bean Johnson to come on for a half hour or so. In that first, it was like closer to 45 minutes, wasn't it? I think it was like 45 minutes, something like that. It was almost that. It was funny. Anyways, that's what happens when you get. It's like staring into the gaze of Medusa. Once you're there, you're locked. You're locked in. There's no escape. All right, last song on the album, I Don't Want to Leave You, written by Prince as Jamie Starr, but credited to the time. It was produced by Prince as The Star Company, but credited to Morris Day and The Star Company. The closing track on the album, so sad. And it was included as the B-side to the album's second single, Gigolos Get Lonely Too, which you just heard, recorded in June of 1982, something like that. One of those two things. And did I lose everybody here? Hold on a second. I'm trying to like pull up stuff and trying to make sure that everybody's here and feeling good. Okay, here we go. I just want to make sure. Technology. It's not for old folks. It's for the younger generation. Kind of like, I don't know, Red Bull. Anyways, never believed to have been performed live. This song here, I Don't Want to Leave You. Lyric wise, it's the flip side of Gigolos Get Lonely Too, where a woman is being talked about as running around town, but Morris doesn't even care about the rumors. He knows how much everybody wants her and that she can't help it, that she's that hot. And Morris doesn't hold it against her. He just wants to hold her against him. That's it. Morris is bitten by the love bug. I don't want to leave you. I don't want to go. Can't you see I need you? Girl, I need you so. Although it wasn't released as a single in the United States, I Don't Want to Leave You with 777, 9311 and The Walk reached position 42 in the Billboard Dance Disco Top 80 chart. And what that was that if there were songs that a DJ was having a lot of luck with playing in the clubs and was starting to get a lot of traction and people were going out and buying it because they went to the club and they were dancing and then the song came on and they heard it and people were like, oh man, this song is dope. If that occurred, there was a chart that tracked that. I don't know how the heck they tracked it, but it was a Billboard Dance and Disco Top 80 chart. And it's basically was songs that were selected by DJs. It's a favorite in the clubs. It's a strange, uneventful song. Really kind of, it's not really an amazing closer or anything. It's just one of those songs that just is, but it's still a good song and we still appreciate it. But for some unknown reason, and this is unusual, I don't know if everybody remembers this because I don't know how long it's been since you guys have actually listened to this song in its entirety or even listened to this album in its entirety since for many years. I mean, some of us haven't peeled back the vinyl on this for decades. But if you guys remember, for some unknown reason, the last 30 seconds, all of a sudden the song stops and it shifts over to some unreleased remix of Vanity Six's song Makeup. So I don't know if it was a scenario where the song was supposed to end and the album was recorded on a 2-inch tape that originally had Vanity Six's Makeup on it. There was some remix that he was working with, and then he recorded it, and then he stopped the song, and then that was like left over from what was on the tape before. I don't know. But with 30 seconds to spare on this song, it just all of a sudden shifts gears and becomes some other song for like 30 seconds. I don't know if you guys remember that, but I don't know if it was, it doesn't sound like for as much as a hardcore perfectionist as Prince was, it's just unusual. It just seems like it was maybe a rush job. I don't know what it, maybe it was intentional. Maybe he just wants you to ask questions. Maybe that's what it was. Take a listen for the last 30 seconds. The song is in the system is 6 minutes and 17 seconds long. So when the song gets to about 5:45, listen for it. The song automatically stops and then it changes over to something else for the last 30 seconds. Anybody else? Anybody? No, it's not some random MP3 that just happens to be some rogue weirdness. This is how it is on the album. It's just weird. Morris Day on vocals, Prince on all instruments, but he's uncredited. Although everybody else is credited as far as the time is concerned on their respective instruments, even though they did not appear. Jelly Bean on drums, Terry on bass, Jesse on guitar, Jimmy Jam on keyboards, and Monty on keyboards. Here it is, the final song on the album. Remember to listen at about 5:30, 5:45 for this song to come to an abrupt end and then become something else for the last 30 seconds. It's just weird. I don't know. Here it is, the last song on the Times. What time is it? I Don't Want to Leave You, right here on the Funkatopia radio show. I'm going to try to remind you guys. Arlene says Ghost in the Machine. April says Morris allows his son to sing Gigolos Get Lonely when they're on tour, and his son sounds just like him. Maisha says, will you be taking on any apprentices? Another way to pass the torch. Apprentice to what? You don't want to do this. What do you want an apprenticeship for? What do you think I'm going to be able to teach you? Well, I could teach you things, but it can't be done on video, baby. It's getting too late. Candle's burning away. You guys, so how many of you guys have this candle? The $50 candle from Studio A. Hey, Sandra, how are you? Sandra Morales in the house. Sterling said, I thought that ending was simply a poor edit. I don't, it's not. It's a totally different song. I researched that clip trying to find some other background information on this song, and they said that it is a unreleased remix of Vanity Six's song Makeup. It doesn't really sound like Makeup to me, but they have verified. Prince Vault was the last place I checked, and it actually talks about how it is Makeup is what it is. So there's that. Jackie says, yes, you got the candle. It smells so good. Carrie says hers is burning right now. It's burning. Yes, so that code that I put in there earlier for 2 Georgia girls, that's it's really for people that have pre-ordered before. But if you're listening here and you want to try it out, and maybe it's, it was a little bit outside, just feel free to use it. It's fine. I'll just make sure that. Anyways, Arlene says $50 plus $40. Yeah, it was like, I think this candle ended up being like, I don't remember, $56 to get to Atlanta. And I was like, I had to get past that. I had to go, this is for a good cause. It's for a good cause. So there's that. So he said, yep, they got that info from Questlove. Yeah, that Questlove Supreme is, I'm not a Pandora. The only reason why I even started working with Pandora again was because of Questlove Supreme, because he just had such great shows, and him having guys like Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis and stuff on. It was a lot of fun. It's just it's a great show. It's really good and informative, and just has lots of good stuff on it. Lots of good stuff. Man, so many people online. Oh, you're waiting for Tracy says she has it, but she's waiting for her candle warmer. Does it really last longer that way? I think it lasts that way either way, because it's soy, so it doesn't melt. See that? It's not the same. And if I dip my finger in this, which I will to show you, it's not like hot wax. It's not like hot wax. It's like a lotion. It literally does feel like lotion. It doesn't harden, so it doesn't like coat your finger like a regular wax candle, and it just rehardens. It's weird. See how it's kind of a greasy lotion that never absorbs into your skin. But it's like a lotion. It's like an ineffective lotion. But it's really interesting and never going away. But yeah. Anyways. Thank you guys for hanging out. I will thank you officially here in just a second because it was a lot of fun. It's really cool. Yeah, it's some type of soy something. So it's not regular wax. It's not regular wax candle, which is one of the reasons why it lasts longer than regular candle, because it doesn't burn and dissipate like regular candle wax. It just kind of sits and slowly kind of bubbles and whatever else. All right, we got 30 seconds to this weird edit on the end of this song. We're going to listen together. Danielle, grab your slime. Now you have a 20% off code you can use for it, which is 2020 TGG, which is Two Georgia Girls. Here comes that edit. Right there. What happened? And there you have it. That was the last song. It wasn't actually 30 seconds, was it? It was kind of a little bit further along than that. But anyways, I don't want to leave you the closing track to the Times' second album, What Time Is It?, that was released 38 years ago to the day, August 25th, 1982. Man, been such a long time. Thank you guys so much for joining us. A big thank you and warm round of applause and much appreciation to the one and only Jelly Bean Johnson, who joined us for the first 45 minutes of the show, just kind of hanging out. He said, I'll hang out for 20, and then he was here forever, which always happens with our guests. I think that what ends up happening is that, they say those things. They kind of come on and say, oh, I'll hang out with 15 minutes or 20 minutes. But when they're having a good time, they're like, screw it, I'm here. There's only been one time I've ever had somebody hardcore stick to it. And that was Brown Mark, the first time I interviewed him. And the manager that he had at the time said, okay, you got 20 minutes. And then I was interviewing him and we got off to a rough start. Something was going on technically and whatever. We finally got going. And then 20 minutes into the interview, his manager pops in and goes, okay, we're getting close to 20 minutes here. We got to wrap this up. And I'm like, what's happening here? And that's the first time that ever happened, just so we're clear. The first time that ever has happened to me. Normally, somebody will say they're going to hang out and then they're here for a long time. I don't know if I said this online or just to the Facebook folks, but when Ingrid Chavez was on, she was only supposed to be on for like 30 minutes. And then an hour and a half later, she was still with us. And the next time, of course, I interviewed Brown Mark. He was on for like over an hour. It was a lot of fun. Real cool show. Man, what a great opportunity to actually give you guys a little bit of a surprise. I didn't announce who was going to be on the show. That was a little bit of a surprise and an award for tuning in to the show. You got to meet and talk and ask questions of Jelly Bean Johnson at the beginning of the show as he came on to help us celebrate this 38th anniversary of this album here, The Time. What Time Is It? What a great show. Had a good time. Hope you guys learned something. Obviously, we're going to kind of wrap things up here as we get to the close of the show, but it's always good. It's always a good thing. Hope you guys had a good time, and I definitely hope that you learned something. You've been listening to the Funkatopia radio show, and we are going to go right into the music on the radio station. And meanwhile, we will see you next week, where it's very, very important that you guys remember we are doing the drawing for the Bootsy Collins Music Cares Challenge. That's next week. That's next Tuesday. We're going to be doing the drawing, and somebody, one of you, is going to be winning that massive grand prize package that is full of print stuff that is going to cost me a fortune to send. It's just ridiculous. It's so stupid. It's so much stuff that I'm going to have to send, and I can't even. Ugh. It's okay. It's all right. Tune in next Tuesday. We're going to do a drawing, and we're going to find out who that winner is. Plus, on top of that, we've also got second prize and third prize. And because of the fact that we crossed the $3,500 mark, there is 3 more prize levels. So there are a total of 6 prize packages, each one less greater than the other, because the grand prize package is just stupid. And then the second prize is pretty freaking awesome. The third one is kind of awesome. And then 4th, 5th, and 6th it's going to be cool. You get to win something. I'll make it worth your while. But remember, you go to givelynow.com/o/stars. Again, that's Gively, Gively now.com/o/stars. And for every $5 you donate, you get an entry to win that grand prize package. Just head to the Facebook page, facebook.com/Funkatopia. Just head out to the Facebook page and look at that prize package. It's also missing things. That package already looks crazy, and it's missing stuff. It's missing an autographed vinyl from Bootsy. It's missing a deck of playing cards from Bootsy. It's missing a card autographed from Bootsy. It's missing a bottle of perfume, 3121 perfume. It's all in one prize package, and it's so ridiculous. Anyways, hope you guys had a great time. Please make sure that if you do donate, you have to send me the receipt to shout@funkatopia.com, or you do not get entered into the contest. It is important. It's important. You have to send me the receipt, and I will reply and tell you how many entries that you have into the contest. Then you will know for sure that you are represented and in the drawing. But you gotta do that. You have to do that part. If you don't do that part, you don't get entered. I mean, we'll appreciate the donation for sure, but if you want to win, you got to send me the receipt. All right. We'll talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Funkatopia radio show on this, the 38th anniversary of the Times. What time is it? And I hope you guys had a great time. We will talk to you guys later. For right now, here it is, a little bit of funk and roll right here on the Funkatopia radio show. Good night. All right. I've got to move all these songs now. I need to move all these songs over. It's almost 11 o'clock, so I'm going to move all these songs to 12, I guess. I'm going to move all these songs that you may have missed. Man, I hope you guys had a good time. I had a good time. It was kind of funny because I did not have the opportunity to I didn't get together any questions because I wasn't exactly sure that Jelly Bean was going to actually show up. And so it was a lot of fun that he actually did, and it was cool because it was a lot of fun. We had a great time. That's what my unprepared looks like, just so you're aware. If you happen to see that interview, that was me, not prepared with any questions whatsoever. So there you go. Good night, everybody. I hope you had a good time. Cammie, thank you for all the updates. I will make sure that you get the address of the winner, and we'll take it from there. I got to make sure that everybody knows to kind of get that ball rolling. You got to get those receipts in if you donated. Good night, everyone. Danielle, send the donation receipt to shout@funkatopia.com. That is, I'll put it over here. Shout@funkatopia.com. There you go. There you go. Shout@funkatopia.com. That's where you're going to send the receipts to. Good night, everyone. I hope you had a good time. I'm going to bed, and I hope you are too. Unless you're on the East Coast, because it's only like 7:52 there, and that would just be sad. But you can catch up on Netflix or something. So there's like lots of good stuff. And if you're in Australia or wherever else that you are, who knows what time it is there. God bless all of you. Hope you had a great time. Thank you so much for hanging out. Cammie, yes, I will check my email. Do I need to check my email before I get offline, or what needs to happen here? Cammy, your email says booties. I don't know what that means. Send me another. It doesn't say bootsy. It says booties. Good night, everybody. It's getting late for me. I'm loopy. Good night, everyone. We'll talk to you next week. Send me an email. And sometimes there's a little bit of a delay with the emails. I'll check it. I'll reply to you, Cammy. And if anybody replies, if anybody sent me the receipt, I will send you your entry email here in just a minute before I crash in and turn in. But good night, everyone. Good night. See ya. Oh, Cher, it's almost 1 p.m. Oh, so you get to listen to this in the middle of the day, like on your lunch break and shit? That's nice. That's good stuff. Good night, everyone. We'll talk later. In the meantime, you've been listening to... Oh, no. Funkatopia Live. Good night.